Minute till intro. Till intro. Starting intro now. Till go. $15. 5, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome live to Watson Stadium, the final regular season game here on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and YouTube as your Hobbs Eagles take on the Carlsbad Cavemen. Final district game of the season. Coach Brian Coltrane, big game for both teams. Probably a good chance of both of them making the playoffs, but if the Eagles lose tonight, they might drop out of a first-round home game, which is not something you want to do, having to travel maybe to Albuquerque.
Absolutely not. You don't want to have to travel because even if you do win your first game, you're on the road thereafter. And you want to get this home game, get something easy right in front of you, somebody you're supposed to beat, get that under your belt and continue on from there.
But at the same time, I mean, the Eagles are the most well-traveled team in New Mexico. In fact, 2 games back-to-back on the road in Las Cruces. About a 5.5-hour trip for the bus to go both ways, so almost 11 hours by the time it's all said and done for these teams. So that usually doesn't happen that you make a team travel twice like that, but it's kind of a crazy district. You got a couple Las Cruces schools, et cetera, so kind of an issue to deal with that. But I think if any team has to travel and do well, Hobbs would probably be one of those ones.
Yeah, probably so, but you don't want to have to do that. You know, you want your home fans to get another shot. You know, it's like senior night. You get the parents and the cousins and the friends all in the crowd going for you, rooting for you, and you got that band going loud on your side, and you got your familiar settings, all things that you want to have in your favor, so you don't want to lose this game.
Now, last week, Eagles kind of shooting themselves in the foot, Coach, in terms of the 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, and a fumble. A couple of those in the red zone where balls were going into the end zone for INTs.
Yeah, interceptions are a game killer, and, you know, the team that wins the turnover battle tends to win the game, and that's been pretty consistent all year. When we've had games where we've turned over 3 or more times, we weren't the winners.
Centennial won that one 35-18. They're undefeated in district, only 1 loss overall in the season. Will be one of the top 4 seeds at the state tournament, which would give them 1 game bye, which is going to happen next week. Eagles still respectively 305 points, 305 yards in that game, 207 in the passing department, which is kind of a turnaround from what we've been seeing. They've been pretty balanced on both, but usually the rushing game is a little bit in the lead, right? This game was only 98 yards.
Yeah, and, you know, they were able to contain our rushing game, and not really well. We actually broke out quite a few times, but they did enough to force us to try to pass it more, and they forced us in throwing it down the field in 3rd and long situations, and sometimes we were successful and sometimes we weren't.
Diego Baeza, 11 carries, 51 yards, and Caden Trevino, 5 carries for 45 yards. We talked about this committee-type situation where 4 or 5 guys getting the ball, but do we need another breakout runner, though, the hundreds and 98 yards a game to continue in the playoffs?
Well, you know, it would be nice. I mean, you want to see probably about 150 yards rushing or more on any game. Even when you're a balanced team, if you're going to throw for 200, you better pick up 150 on the ground. If you're going to throw for 300, you better pick up 100 on the ground. You want to be around that 400 mark.
Colton Graham, in terms of throwing, 12 of 22 in the passing game, complete for 212. That's about a 54% clip in terms of completions, averaging about 17 yards a play, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Of course, Caden Trevino, again, big man with the hands, 3 catches for 142. Most of his games this season, he's had a lot more catches than that, but those yards, triple digits, not nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, and he has breakaway power anytime he gets the ball. I mean, his big skill is making people miss, and he's able to get those extra yards after the catch. That's what you want from a kid.
Diego Baeza, 3 catches for 21, and then Ortega, Van Landingham, and Kirkendall all had 2 catches apiece, albeit very short patterns at very little yardage on those catches.
Yeah, sometimes you take what you can get when they back off. You throw short and hope that they don't rally quick enough that you can actually make a move. Baeza, most of his passes were coming out of the backfield.
Coach, defensively, Eagles giving up a pretty big chunk of yards, 344 to Centennial. We knew they had a pretty tough rushing attack, which they did in that game. 287 of the 344 was on the ground, only 57 in the air. Again, taking some good running backs up the field for this squad. In fact, one of their guys with 220 yards himself, Gutierrez, set 30 carries for 220. Ooh. Sometimes, a lot of teams say, hey, we know who their big studs are. You can't always stop them for, 50 yards. I mean, they're going to get some big numbers anyway.
They spent most of the game up, a touchdown or 2 touchdowns, and so they knew they had to grind out the clock, and it was our job to stop them. Unfortunately, we were just not able to get the stops timely enough in order to get ourselves back in that game.
So a big difference in the game was the turnovers. Again, 2 interceptions and a fumble. Defensively, though, Hector Armendariz and Kenyon Singleton combined for 24 tackles apiece. A majority of those were solo tackles, 7 for Armendariz, 7 for Singleton. So those 2 guys have been kind of rising to the top the last couple of weeks. Gavin Brumley off the defensive line had 11 tackles, 6 of those, more than half were solos. And then Isaiah Montez with 8 tackles in the game. 6 were, solos. So those guys stepping up big. And, you want to see more of a committee tackling system, though. We've seen some guys maybe hand tackling a little bit. Some of these backs are starting to bounce off, but then a lot of guys getting in there to pile them up.
Well, what I'd like to see is that our defensive backs aren't the ones making the tackles. If our linebackers are making the tackles, and they're making the tackles around the line of scrimmage, that's a good sign. When your defensive backs are making the tackles, they're getting yardage on you.
So, 35-18, the final in that game against Centennial. Tonight, going against the Carlsbad Cavemen. It seems like the last few seasons, Coach, Carlsbad kind of a roller coaster squad, and it's pretty much the same situation in this game. Currently tied with Hobbs with a 1-2 district record. If you take a look at some of the games that they played this season, their big win to start it off was against Artesia, and that's a big Eddy County battle going on between those 2 teams, and a big victory for Carlsbad in that one, a 31-6. Eagles lost to Artesia. So that was kind of a big difference there to start the season.
And I believe we had 5 turnovers in that game, maybe even more. I think 4 in the red zone.
Yeah, so there was a big difference there. Other comparisons, both teams lost to Goddard. Carlsbad by 17, the Eagles by 3. Roswell beat Carlsbad by 7. We beat Roswell by 14-0. So little roller coaster situation there. Big win against Artesia, but losses against Goddard and Roswell.
Well, Carlsbad is the quintessential Dr. Jekyll of Mr. Hyde. And with it being Halloween weekend, I think that's a fitting description for them. We just got to know whether we're going to be able to trick or treat, and we'll find out in the first quarter which Carlsbad squad shows up.
Only district win was last week. They beat Oregon Mountain 34-20 in that one. We'll take a quick time out here. The national anthem here at Watson Stadium. Come back live with more Hobbs Eagle football.
3 minutes, please.
Okay. 1 minute. $30. $15. $5, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to Watson Stadium. Hobbs Eagles and their last district game of the season here at home against the Carlsbad Cavemen. Ty along with Coach Brian Coltrane right before the national anthem break, talking about the last game that Carlsbad had in district against Oregon Mountain, 34-20 victory in that contest. Pretty big rushing night for this Cavemen squad, and a couple of guys that stepped up for him. Jesse Rodriguez, 21 carries, 148 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Definitely is going to have a target on his back with the Hobbs Eagle defense. Eli Assay has only been back this second game here. He was out due to COVID protocol. 7 carries for 63 yards and 2 touchdowns last week against Oregon Mountain. So, again, Rodriguez and Assay, the guys you have to watch in the backfield. They did get 323 yards on the ground as a team. 237 of those on the ground, 86 in the passing department. And only problem they really had was turnovers. They had a couple of those, interception and a fumble, and they also were 2 of 10 on third down conversions, so that's not a very good percentage there.
No, it's not. But, I think the biggest thing for them is are they going to be able to grind it out against us? The teams that have been successful with us all year, that's what they've been able to do. They've been able to create a sustained ground attack, getting 5, 6, 7 yards a pop. They do that against us, it's going to be a tough game. I think the turnovers are going to be critical tonight. We got to limit ours, and we got to force theirs.
Well, Carlsbad actually caused a lot of turnovers on Oregon Mountain. 3 interceptions by the team from Las Cruces and a fumble, too. 4 turnovers total. So defense stepped up big for Carlsbad. Although Oregon Mountain did still manage 335 yards, 225 in the pass, 110 in the rush. Is that a good time for us to get the passing going even more than normal?
Yeah, maybe so. But you know what? They picked them off, too. So even though they were giving up yards, they were getting the turnovers, which negates quite a bit of that yardage.
Last year, these two teams played to a close one. Carlsbad winning 27-21. It was 14-14 at the half. Then in the second half, Carlsbad outscored the Eagles 13-7. Hobbs still managed 242 yards, and 224 of those were in the passing game. So we definitely had the ball in the air quite a bit. Colton Graham only completed 9 of 20, though, so it wasn't the best percentage of the year, but threw 3 interceptions, and it was a 7-point loss. And then Caden Trevino, 5 catches for 29, or 5 carries for 29 yards. Thompson had 3 carries for 21. Of course, they're back this year. But the big numbers were Trevino, 4 catches, 146 yards, and a touchdown as a receiver.
Yeah, I think Coach Stevens is going to dial up everything he has in the playbook for tonight. You know, he was a former Carlsbad coach. He's from there, and you know, having been there, he doesn't want to lose to Carlsbad. He wants to make sure he sticks his thumb up at him as he goes by.
In terms of district matchups against Las Cruces, Carlsbad lost 42-13. Eagles lost only by 6, 34-28, so they got a plus in that column. Both teams losing to Centennial. Centennial whipped up 35-6 on Carlsbad. The Eagles lost, of course, last week by 17, 35-18, so a little bit better in the loss against them than Carlsbad had. Oregon Mountain, a 14-point win for Carlsbad. The Eagles winning by 28, 56-28, so doubling up. If you take a look at the points, the big difference, Coach, is the offense. Eagles have scored 102 points in those 3 district games, only 47 for Carlsbad. So that's a difference of, we're looking about 50 or so points that the Eagles have gotten more than the Carlsbad Cavemen. And it's kind of ironic. Both teams have given up exactly the same amounts of points against them, 97. So that's even, exactly even, but the offensive numbers are big in the favor of the Eagles.
And you know, on paper, we look like the better team. Everything says we're the better team. We still got to go out there and beat a team that considers us one of their rivals.
Hobbs averaging 34 points a ball game in district, 15 points for Carlsbad, and both teams giving up 32. I think you got to see some little bit better defense for both these squads as we edge to the playoffs next week.
Yeah. You want to make sure that this is your game where you bring out all the stops, and there's no longer saving people playing. You're going to play through injuries. You're going to tough it up. You're going to give it everything you got tonight.
Coach, I know you have a problem with talking playoffs in the pregame show. We'll get that at halftime where we have a little more detail to discuss there. But what is the playoff contention for this game, Hobbs and Carlsbad? Both teams in, lose, win, does it matter?
I think both teams are in. I think where you're seated is what's at stake here. The winner is probably going to end up getting to host the game. The loser is probably going to have to go on the road. Outside chance, somebody can end up a 7. Hobbs has that chance to maybe end up a 7 or an 8. Carlsbad probably doesn't have that big of a chance, ranked much lower, but may be able to squeak into actually hosting a game. So a lot at stake here. Just the home field advantage alone is worth playing hard for.
And how important in terms of seeding with the Eagles getting up to a 500 record right now at 4-5, Carlsbad at 3-5?
I think that's just absolutely huge. When you see a losing record, you think losing team. When you see a team that's 4-4, you see a team with potential, and I think that's huge.
Of course, top of the board right now for the Max Preps poll, Rio Rancho, Cleveland. Those two teams playing tonight. Both of them an undefeated record, 7-0 Rio Rancho, 9-0 Cleveland. There will be a district champ out of those two, which would be an automatic first-round bye. I think both teams are going to get a first-round bye. I expect both of them to have one of the top 4 seeds.
Yeah, without a doubt. That'll be an interesting one to kind of follow tonight and see
That's your job tonight. Keep on top of that one. La Cueva, number 3. Centennial from our district, number 4. And then Las Cruces at number 5. Do you think that they're going to keep those teams that high, being from the same district?
Yeah, if they win, that's the key. You win, you're probably going to end up being in the same place, but it'll kind of shake up the standings if one of them falls tonight.
In terms of passing for the Eagles this season, Colton Graham, 1,627 yards. He has 117 completions for 62%. In terms of the receivers, a lot of guys stepping up. Big numbers coming up for everybody. Trevino especially, 37 catches for 626 yards, well ahead of his teammates in the receiving corps. You got to jump all the way down to 222 for Van Landingham. He's second place at this point, and 160 yards in catches for Evan Ortega. Get that first name out. Rushing department, Eagles at 1,566, so passing is still in the lead in terms of the offense. It's been a little more close than that up until last game, but 1,566. And, of course, the top rusher at this point for Hobbs is Diego Baeza with 499, just shy of the 500 mark. And right behind him, Colton Graham, the quarterback, at 451. So he's definitely a guy that can look up the field. He's not scared to run the football.
No, he's not. I think tonight's X factor is Diego Baeza. I think Baeza needs to have a good game, solid game, and not put the ball on the turf. We do that, I think we'll probably come out a victor.
How do you like Trevino coming out of the slot on those reverses?
I think that's a wonderful balance right there. Inside-outside game, and you have a nice little duo that you can go to. Both of them are very slippery and hard to bring down.
Hobbs will receive to start the first half, and they're ready to go here. The black home uniforms and the gold numbers, and I always love the home ones, Coach. It's tough to see the ones on the road for Hobbs. They like that lemon stuff, and it's kind of hard to check out throughout the season, especially day games like in Las Cruces.
A lot more accurate on the names of the home unis for sure.
Defensively, should mention, too, some guys stepping to the top for the Hobbs, leading with 102 tackles, Kenyon Singleton, 65 for Hector Armendariz so far, and Aldo Argot with 63 tackles. So those are your top 3 in the defensive side of the football, which will not be up first. We got the offense going on right now. Ready for the kickoff, white uniforms, blue trim here for Carlsbad, the Cavemen. They all bunch up, do that fake onside, and they spread it out.
I don't think that fools anybody. Once you see it on film one time, you don't fall for it.
Hector Armendariz will be the man deep back about the 2-yard line. You'll have 2 in front of him. The kick is on the ground, takes a bounce to the 30, rejects off the pads to the 32, picked up to the 35 and down to the 40-yard line. About a 12-yard return. So that was a close one there. Ricochet off the pads that time. Gianni Royal was the one that recovered that one, but we've had a little bit of trouble holding on to some returns this season. Although we haven't fumbled them all the way, still a little bit of a juggle action going on.
Yeah, nobody kicks deep. Everybody starts putting that ground ball on there, and sometimes it takes a bad hop and bounces off your helmet.
Yeah, you're all right about that. A lot of the teams have kept it low against the Eagles this season. They know they got some good sprint guys in the back. Eagles back up to the line at the 40-yard. Good field position to start their first possession. Waiting for shotgun is Colton Graham. He's going to bring two of his receivers from right to left now as they come in motion to reset. A stack 3 receiver look on the left. Shotgun to Graham. Throws the screen to the back left. Caught, and Trevino breaks one tackle. Nice juke move to the middle, the left hash, and throws his body across the 45 down to the 47-yard line. He'll pick up 7 on that one.
And that's where we talk about the yards after the catch. I mean, he caught that 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, ends up carrying it, 10 yards forward to get a 7-yard gain.
I almost thought he was going to turn and throw that football. A halfback pass there. 2nd down and 3. Twins left and right. Eagles punt on their play call. Look to the sideline to Coach Stevens to reset here. Taking their time. Diego Baez in the backfield along with Graham. Shotgun. Handoff. No, he throws it quickly down the left side. Great fake up the gut, and he zings it down to the 39-yard line. And that's going to be a first down for the Eagles as coming up with the catch for Hobbs, Corbin Thompson for 8.
Yeah, that was a nice little run-pass option there, He's watching a linebacker, and he sticks the ball in the belly of the running back. When he sees that linebacker bite, he knows that the guy on the outside is going to be open. He turns and fires.
They mark it at the 44-yard line for the first down. Eagles are 2 for 2 for 15 yards. Trips are making quads, 4 to the right, 1 to the left. Screen pass to the right side to Baez. It cuts up the middle to the 45-40. Continues to pull players with him to the 30, and he'll get down for another first down. That's going to be 14 for the little back out of the backfield.
Nice little slip screen right there. Lyman got out there on the linebackers quick. Baez kind of tucked in behind him. He's hard to catch when he does that, and got a good gain right there.
3 for 3 in the passing game now for 29 yards and 2 first downs. Good first drive. The Eagles need to keep moving towards the red zone. They're at the 30 in Carlsbad territory. Carlsbad with 5 on the front D. 4 receivers right, 1 left, keeping it spread. Shotgun, back to pass, Graham out of the 3-step. Cuts up the middle, tucks it. He's going to get swamped down at the 31 and lose about a yard.
And that was a play where he had the time. He had a guy underneath, Van Landingham in the flat over there, wide open. Didn't see him, tried to tuck it and go. Didn't get anywhere.
David Dunaway, the linebacker, gets through to make the stop. So a 2nd down and 11, a -1 on that one. And that'll keep the Eagles jumping up to the line of scrimmage here with trips right, 1 receiver left. Graham and Baez in the backfield. Long hard snap count as Eagles pull out of it. Look back to coach on the sideline. Eagles going right to left on the radio dial. Listening also live to us on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube with the video. Thanks to Nomark Broadcasting. Fakes the handoff, zigs it down the middle. The catch made at the 20 for Trevino. Heads outside. 15, 10, 5, far zone, touchdown. Caden Trevino with the TD, a 30-yard pass play. The Eagles throwing some zingers.
Yeah, that's another one of those run-pass options right there. You stick it in the belly. Looks like it's going to be play action. He pulls it, and he's got a guy wide open because the linebacker bit on the run.
30-yard touchdown snag for Caden Trevino, and he's doing a great job of juking after catches, too.
Yeah, he always does. That's what makes Trevino dangerous.
Eagles passing for 59 yards. They're 4 for 4 in the air. We said that might be something they could take advantage of as we saw some big numbers. A high snap. Eagles got to take out of it to the 10, to the near side, to the 5, and run out of bounds and thrown down for no gain and no 2-point conversion. That was not intended that way, but a high snap. And unfortunately, the Eagles could not come up with the play. The man with the football was Ethan Van Landingham running for his dear life to the left side.
Yeah, he picked that ball up and went the only place he could go. One point it looked like he wanted to throw it, didn't have anybody to throw it to, so he just tucked and ran.
So Eagles get on the scoreboard first, 6-0 here with 9:44 left at Watson Stadium. We'll take a 30-second break and come back on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
You're clear. Fifteen. 5, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to Watson Stadium, 6-0, your Eagles lead. Here's the voice of the Eagles, Ty Friend.
30-yard touchdown pass from Colton Graham as he connects to Caden Trevino. As we're ready for the kickoff for your Eagles, up 6-0. No good on the 2-point conversion, although it was a botched snap. Kick is in over end, and it's caught at the 14, right across the 15, and a fumble picked up at the 20-yard line, recovered by the man who fumbled it, Jonathan Fuentes, for the Cavemen. He got real lucky as the ball came off his chest protector and rolled about 3 yards ahead of him.
Yeah, that was dangerous. That may have been the turnover that really could have sunk them early, but unfortunately, Carlsbad jumped back on it.
Already 2 catches for Trevino for 37 yards and a touchdown. Baeza caught one for 14 and one for 8 for Corbin Thompson. 1st and 10 for the Cavemen, their first offensive possession at their own 21-yard line, trailing by 6. Send 2 to the left side as Dane Naylor, the quarterback underneath the center with a wishbone, gives it to the right tailback, coming around the left end. And heading it out long is Asay. He gets wrapped up on the 25 on the left hash and kind of somersaulted ahead for 4 yards.
And, we're playing a linebacker down. Alder Argott's over in a wheelchair on the sidelines. So we're playing with one of our leading tacklers not in the game right now.
Yeah, definitely a bad situation for the Eagles, and that's been a situation a lot of teams have been facing, whether it be injuries or, on top of that, you've got the COVID situation still lingering.
And I'm going to apologize. Argott's out there. Somebody's wearing a 44 jersey in a wheelchair on the sidelines. Argott is out there.
2nd down and 6 now from the 25. A pitch up the middle, headed down, and then getting flipped forward to the 29-yard line. Another 3-yard pickup. And this one for Carlsbad will be Jesse Rodriguez, their top back of the season.
And, that's the thing about triple option football. They're going to try to get 3-4 yards a pop. They're going to get 3rd down in short situations, and that's when you've got to find some way to stop them.
First team that we've seen go on main wishbone here to start a ball game. So 3rd down and 2. Went ahead and gave him 4 on that play for Rodriguez. They're at the 34-yard line, back to the wishbone. Underneath the center is Naylor. Goes back to his tailback, up the middle, gets kind of down low across the 32. Didn't get a lot of full momentum on that one. He's going to be close to the 1st down, though. He needed to get about 2.5, and he might have just got that one.
Yeah, I think he got it by about a half a yard. He's there.
Rodriguez will get 2, so that will be a 1st down for Carlsbad to move the chains for the first time. 2 carries for 6 yards for Rodriguez. Again, 142 yards last week in the win over Oregon Mountain.
So far, they've been pretty plain Jane. They're just running straight leads and straight up blocking. At some point, you're going to see them fake that dump off, and they're going to have somebody come across on a counter.
Back to the wishbone, 1st and 10 from the 33. Man in motion to the left side. Go to the right tailback, heading to the left is Asay. Gets put down in the backfield. The Eagles reading quickly. And we've seen a good emergence the last few weeks from Jayoni Royal. He's in there first and strips him down hard and drops him for about a couple-yard loss.
I love Royal's energy, man. He got up quickly there, popping up, getting that defense pumped. Nice play. He stayed home at the line of scrimmage at the last second, stepped up and made the tackle.
Rodriguez loses 2 on that one. Brock's back to the 31-yard line. Of course, both teams will be waiting until tomorrow night to see about the playoff scenarios. 12 teams make it to the playoffs, and 4 of those teams have a bye, so they won't play next week. 2 to the right for the receiving core. Slot left to bring a man in motion to give it to Asay from right to left. Tries to cut back on the right hash, or left hash, and is piled up again back at the 30-yard line, so he's going to lose another 2.
And I think Hobbs' defense kind of saw that coming. I think they've seen that on film enough, but they were able to react. You saw that defensive end right when he saw the guy go in motion. He took 2 steps away from the line of scrimmage down the line, and a great play.
Oliver Hill, the big man out there that took down the runner that time. So Asay loses 2. And we got a 3rd down and 13 now for the Cavemen on the left hash at the 30.5-yard line. And this would be a nice way to start a game, get your offense to score, and then get the ball back pretty quick thereafter.
We'll probably have good field position to boot.
2 receivers right on the near side, 1 to the left for Carlsbad. Eagles have put 4 in the front box. Shotgun now for Naylor. 2-step drop at the 25, throws a high out route, and that just gets back across the original line of scrimmage. Maybe about a 4-yard, 5-yard pickup out there. They didn't even know where the first down marker was. It was good reception, but not many yards on that one for Jonathan Fuentes.
I think the quarterback on that one, he had his receiver picked before the play was even snapped. He knew where he was going to go with the ball, and it's not enough for him.
Was a completion, 1 for 1 in the passing game for 5 yards, but not enough for the first down. 4th and 8 now from the 36-yard line. So big play call here, but more than likely just going to be a punt because they can't afford to give the Eagles back the ball anywhere close than what they are now. And they're going back to the punt formation at the last second. Clock to 5:30 left here in the first. 6-0. A high snap. Punt is away for the 25. A short kick bounces at the Eagle 40. Scooped up to the 35, up to the 40, 45, 50. Here goes Baez and cut in the middle, 40. He's getting pulled down from behind and thrown to the turf at the 36-yard line. An excellent field position. Eagles are not going down easily in this game.
That was a great return by Hector Armendariz. He timed the ball hopping up into his hands perfectly and just split the two gunners coming on the opposite side from the Carlsbad Cavemen. Great job there by Hector Armendariz.
At the 36 of the Cavemen, Eagles up 6-0 with 5:20 left first quarter. Twins right, pair of receivers left, ready for shotgun is Graham. Has Baeza back with him, turns, pump fake, steps up in the pocket, fires on the long out, caught at the 20. Trevino tries to hurdle his last defender at the 15, and he will get the first down and then some. That's going to be 21 yards for Caden Trevino.
And, you were right before the start of the game that you saw that teams were passing well against Carlsbad. Obviously, Coach saw that on film, too, and his entire game plan is centered around tossing that rock around.
Third first down for the Eagles, 5 for 5 in the passing department, 58 yards of receptions on 3 for Trevino. And they're now at the Carlsbad 9. They're not wasting any time either. Get the guys lined up, and they're going to go at the reverse, right to left. Trying to cut back up the middle is Trevino again. Boy, he's going to keep puffing and going forward as he dives up to the 9-yard line. He's not a type of kid that you give much rest to.
No, not at all. He sacrifices his body on every play. He tries to jump between defenders, and sometimes that causes him to get slammed down to the turf pretty hard. Probably should stay on his feet there, but he's just trying to find some way to get an extra yard or two.
Going to give him 5 on that one. Brings up a 2nd down and 5 from the 10. They can get a first at the 5. 2 stack receivers left and right for Graham on the shotgun with Baeza. Little counter play, goes up the middle with it hard to the 5, breaks through for the touchdown, not even touched. 10-yard score for Baeza to put it up to 12-zip.
And just like that, Hobbs has a commanding 2-score lead, and we're only 4:09 left in the first. If Carlsbad doesn't start fighting back, this is going to be a rout.
Now, again, when you win a ball game does not mean you're going to host next week, so you want to make it as good of a route as possible to make sure that committee up north on tomorrow night from the NMAA across the state will make the right decision to get the Eagles a Watson game next week.
Absolutely, and that's what we're trying to achieve here.
As we wait for the PAT, last one was a bad snap. Brian Baeza, this one's going to be up, and it is good. And, Coach, a little bit of cannon smoke right before the PAT can make it hard to kick through, but they do get it through for the point.
I don't think that phased him one bit. He knew he was trying to kick the ball straight.
13-0, Eagles up, 4:09 remaining first quarter. We'll come back in 30 seconds live on Cool 95.7, also on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube.
You're clear. Ten. 5, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to Watson Stadium. It's 13-0. Your Eagles are leading the Carlsbad Cavemen, and we're here in the first, and here's the voice of the Eagles, Ty Friend.
Bunch of guys getting involved in the passing game so far. Hobbs is connected on 5 of 5 so far for 79 yards in the air. And in the rushing game, we just had a 10-yard score for Baeza, as he is the leading rusher with 10 yards in the running department. And again, 13-0 your score. Eagles with 3 first downs and a very smooth-flowing offense. 2 coaches going on down the field.
Yeah, I think the biggest key is, are we going to be able to keep stopping him on defense, and I think that's the hope we're trying to achieve.
Colton Graham will kick it to the 14-yard line, caught and brought across the 20 and getting pummeled to the ground after about a 5-yard return. And, boy, what a blistering given up by the Hobbs Eagles playman there for the coverage team, Isaiah Montez, the outside linebacker.
He absolutely put a nice little stick on him, released his feet of their clutches on the ground, and plowed him backwards into the turf.
The catch was made deep on this near sideline here, and the receiver caught it with his fingertips and just stopped. I don't know if he thought he went out of bounds or just waiting to see what the defense or the coverage team was going to do.
As he caught it, he stopped, and he looked down to see where he was, and then he tried to readjust the ball before he even took off.
Of course, he was right in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench here on the near sideline. Cavemen quickly break their huddle, come up to the 21. Twins left, And a man in the backfield with Naylor. Brings a man in motion left to right. Fake the handoff. Up the gut goes Naylor to the 25 on the angle left. And he's going to get about 3 on the forward progress. The quarterback getting ahead for the Cavemen.
He was redirected, too. His body motion was changed. His direction went from one way to another because we're really bringing the stick tonight.
It's the first time that he's carried in this game. And actually going to give him more yards than that. They're going to give him 4 instead. So breaks it up 2nd down and 6 now. The ball at the 25-yard line of the Cavemen. Last game of the regular season for both teams. Got a big game going on tonight in Albuquerque, or Rio Rancho, I believe. Cleveland and Rio going 1 and 2 teams in the state. Rancho at the top of the board. Going to pitch left. Coming around the left end is Barnes. Heading far sideline in front of the Carlsbad bench. Gets tripped and falls forward for about a yard. A lot of lateral running that time. Only got hit for about 1 on that.
That lateral running is because we're coming down the line of scrimmage. We didn't try to come upfield and get them. We played home, and we sat there coming down the line of scrimmage, forcing them to go further and further and further, and finally everybody else just rallied to the ball, and we were able to make the tackle. That's textbook football.
Barnes gets just 1 on the play, brings it to the 22-yard, make it the 27-yard line, and a 3rd down and 5 for the Cavemen. Clock down to 2:46 and ticking here in the first quarter. Eagles up 13-0 over Carlsbad. Back up to line of scrimmage comes the white and blue. Eagles will send 4 defenders on the front line with a little gap in the middle. Wishbone formation, Naylor underneath the center, pitch it to the right back, heads left. Trying to break some tackles is Barnes, but he's pulled down by committee in the backfield, lose about 2 or 3 on it.
Our guy was the first one to get there. He kind of jumped on his back, and when the guy slowed down, Brumley come up and wiped up the mess.
And that was Barnes again, getting a flip out to the left side, and I don't know if they're going to give him a loss on the play. God, I can't believe there was any forward progress on that one. They're going to say no gain for Barnes. So he remains 2 carries for 1 yard. Another 4th down situation, Coach.
Yep, and they're going to be forced to punt. Let's see what they do.
2nd time this has happened in the game. They trail 13-0 to your Eagles. Hector Armendariz was at the 50. Now he's going to backpedal because he sees them move into the punt formation now. Took a little bit of time for them to get there. Good snap this time. Punts from the 16, another low one. They know Ramirez can return. Catches at the 48. Stop and go to the near side. Tries to hurdle another defender. He gets his feet swung out. And they get the tackle by Rene Ramos, but there's a flag late on the return.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a hold against us. Probably marches back 10 yards.
Ball was stopped at the 45 for Armendariz. And it looks like they're talking to the Hobbs Eagle coach, Coach Stevens, that time, but I'm not sure what the signal is going to be here. And you are correct. It is a holding penalty. As they try to get the ball set here, it'll be 10 yards against the Eagles. First penalty of the ball game.
Well, that happens, you know. They're trying to bust another one open, get some good yardage. But, hey, we got another punt from them. We forced them to punt twice and turn the ball over on downs. Hey, that's great for us.
Eagles are having a good field position at the 45 on their side of the field. Stacked receivers 2 left and right. Graham gets back in shotgun with Baeza. Got a big jump from the right defensive end. It looks like they might get a neutral zone foul here against the Cavemen, and that's a good hard count from Graham.
And I'll move us up 5 yards right there. But I bet you this next play, after you give us 5 yards like this, Coach Stevens is at a pinch, and when you do something wrong and you give us an extra play, that's when he tries to go deep. I wouldn't doubt if he throws something really deep here.
1:41 left first quarter. Eagles up 13-0 as they move it up to the mid-stripe of the 50. Half to go on the first down. Again, stacks left and right for Hobbs receivers. Long count for Graham. Turns and fires the right flat to Trevino. Heads outside far right to the 50. To the Hobbs Carlsbad side. The 45. First down. Stop and go. And dives ahead for another on that far side. That kid will not go down easy as he'll get 7.
Yeah, I love how he dances around out there like that. It's kind of like watching Barry Sanders back in the day. He'd come to the sidelines, have nowhere to go, and all of a sudden the feet are chopping and your motion's still moving. He stops on a dime.
Eagles now 6 of 6 from Graham's throwing arm, and Trevino's caught 4 of them for 65 yards. Trips left, receiver right. 1st and 10 from the 43. That was the 4th first down for the Eagles. They pull out of their play call with an audible as they look to Coach Stevens on the sideline. Clock to 1:17 and ticking here in the first. Checking their armbands now. They got a safety moving up and going on the blitz on the left. They're going to be a throw down the middle of the seam route. That's what you were calling for, Coach, but they overthrow the receiver on that far right hash as they intend that one for Silas Cerna.
Yeah, it's kind of what you want. Cerna didn't actually break free in any way, shape, or form. he wasn't able to get separation. So Graham probably did the smartest thing, which was just throw it too far.
But he went to the textbook, like you said.
Yep.
At least his textbook of you get a penalty against the other team, then you go long.
Yeah, he likes doing that. You give him something, he goes for the home run ball, especially after a turnover. He loves doing that.
Make it 2nd and 10 now from the Carlsbad 43-yard line. Twins left, a couple of receivers right. Another audible call for the Eagles, looking to that sideline with 1:07 left in the quarter. Hobbs still up by 13-zip. Graham will get the shotgun. Fakes the hand up to Baeza, tries to zing it on the slant route, but throws it hard. It bounces off the turf. And I think it might have touched a fingertip of the Hobbs Eagles on the intended receiver there, Jayoni Royal.
Actually, it was knocked down by the outside linebacker for Carlsbad. He was able to jump up. He got driven from the line of scrimmage. He got hit by a guy. It was an RPO, but he got driven about 3 yards back. So, and that was number 45.
DJ Moore.
Yes, sir.
3rd down and 10 from the 43-yard line. Eagles still have possession. Trips left, receiver right. Graham fakes the handoff, takes it himself around the right end to the 40, continues down the field to the 35. Going to be short of the first down by about 2, so he picks up 8. Good job of just kind of holding that in the gut of Baeza for a few seconds before pulling it out and going.
One of the Cavemen's down on the field here. It's going to be about a 4th and 1 situation, maybe 4th and 2. Bet you we go for it, but we got to tend to this Caveman first.
Yeah, that's a guy you just mentioned. DJ Moore is down right after the play he made a second ago.
Yeah. And he's rolling over and he's moving around.
About 3 of their guys just made it back on the roster this week. A couple out injured, other on COVID protocol. But so they've been kind of hurting, and this is the time of the season you want to see these kids getting recuperated and back ready for the playoff situation.
Yeah, and the whole COVID thing usually doesn't affect one person at a time. It usually takes out bunches and takes out a squad.
He's flat on his back, so they're going to have to attend to him. We'll take a timeout. 49 seconds left, first quarter. Hobbs 13, and it's Carlsbad 0. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
You're clear. $30. $10. Three, two, one, go.
Welcome back to Watson Stadium. 13-0 your score. The Eagles are over Carlsbad, and we're still waiting on the field. They're tending to this Carlsbad Caveman outside linebacker. He's still on the turf. We've seen him move. I mean, we did see some movement out of him, but he certainly has not moved that leg. And so it appears to be a leg injury. Poor young man. We really feel for him here.
That's DJ Moore. You just mentioned him a play before this one where he made a wrap up there for Carlsbad and, again, gets hurt on the next play. If you just joined us, Eagles up 13-0 off a couple of touchdowns so far. 30-yard pass from Colton Graham to Caden Trevino, 6-0, missed PAT. And then a 10-yard run for Baeza, Diego Baeza at the 409 mark. 13-0 with the PAT. So Eagles going up by a couple of touchdowns, and definitely a way you want to see your final game of the regular season, winning by a big margin at this point.
Yeah, you definitely want to have a lead, and you want to grow that lead, and you want to finish with a huge lead.
They look like they have him off the turf now as they're helping him to the sideline. I'm sure it'll be a little while before he's able to come back out. Again, he's getting helped pretty heavily there. Appears it might be his right leg. They have his pant pulled up quite a bit on the right side, so he'll get a sub in the game. Eagles will move it back up. 4th and 2, Coach. What's the call for Coach Stevens here?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going for it. He's deep in their territory. It's too far to punt. Too far to kick a field
What's
goal
the play,
and too close to punt. I'd say he's probably going to come back to give it to Baeza, go up the middle.
4th and about a yard and a half from the Carlsbad 35-yard line on the right hash as they're getting everybody off the field now. Referee's back out there ready to go. Graham will be back with Baeza in the backfield and a couple receivers left and right. Typical what you see from the Eagles formations here. Everybody's reset. Carlsbad will put 4 in the front defensive box to bring up another couple linebackers up close as well. Looks like they're going to get some action on the ends on both sides from the linebackers. Graham waiting for that shotgun back at the 40. Pull out of the play call and look over to Coach Stevens to reset as they get a chance to read the deep ends before the play hikes. Takes a little bit of time here. Good snap, 3-step drop, back to the 43, fires the out route high, caught at the 30, trying to dive forward and getting the first down with the body, just shoving his body through for the first down. That'll be about a 7, make it a 6-yard pickup. As coming up with the Eagles is Corbin Thompson.
Yeah, it was a nice little play. I mean, it's nothing more than a short yardage play that you're just trying to get the first down. But he got a little more from that because he turned upfield pretty quick, got his shoulders north and south, and kind of dragged a few people.
2 catches for 14 for Thompson. Eagles now 5 of 9, or 7 of 9 in the passing game. Go with a fake reverse, go to the left side, and going hard as Baeza gets spun around, gets away from defender, and rambles into the end zone for a touchdown. 25-yarder. They're going to say he did not go down on that when he was near the turf. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some argument by the Carlsbad sideline. He came down to the ground almost like a washing machine and just spun out of it.
He spun out of it, never actually hit the turf. And, I mean, that absolutely sent the crowd and the Hobbs bench into a frenzy. Beautiful play, and that was just willpower from Baeza right there.
So it makes it 19-0 as we wait for the PAT now, coming from Brian Baeza. Clock with just 5 seconds left in the first. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Again, 5 seconds left, first quarter. Eagles shutting out the Carlsbad Cavemen, 20-0 here at Watson Stadium, back in 60.
You said 60, Ty?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. $30. $15. $5. 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to Watson Stadium. 20-0. Your Eagles are over the Cavemen. Here's Ty Friend.
Coming off a big scoring run, 25 yards for Baeza. That's his second touchdown here in the first quarter. The kick is over for Colton Graham, end over end, caught at the 14-yard line. Brought across the 20, near side of the 25, and up in it at the 26. And just throwing a shoulder underneath him and flipping him up in the air was Isaiah Montez. He's been a bullet out there on the kick coverage.
I think Montez is feeling his Wheaties. Must have had a pretty good breakfast.
It will be Carlsbad football, though. They'll have it at the 27-yard line, trailing 20-0. That will run out the first quarter clock. And we'll take a 30-second break. Eagles up big here at Watson Stadium, live on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and YouTube.
Your call. $10. 5, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back. Watson Stadium, 20-0 your score. The Eagles lead. And here's the voice of the Hobbs Eagles, Ty Friend.
Coach, nice little cushion lead of that 20 points at this point. Trevino and 2 touchdowns by Baeza. And this is definitely the start you want to see. A close game last year as the Eagles losing by just 7 to this Carlsbad squad.
It is. And I do want to throw a shout out to the Hobbs cross country team. They both the girls and the boys were district champions today, so they will move on. And I do believe we have playoff soccer tomorrow there, right?
Yeah,
Ty?
1 and 3 o'clock. Boys and girls going in action here, so definitely going to need to catch that on YouTube and HobbsAmerica.com. That's video and audio coverage, not on the radio tomorrow, but definitely a couple teams with number 4 seeds. Hobbs doing great stuff, getting some home matches that started off. Eagles will have defense out of the field now with a 1st and 10 for Carlsbad at their own 26-yard line. Get Hobbs up 20-0. Shotgun Naylor by himself throws a screen pass to the left. Catch made at the 25 by Dane Naylor. Actually, it's a quarterback. They switched it up a little bit, and Naylor's going to get it out to the 35-yard line. So they make a switch at QB. I mentioned we were talking to the radio guys before the game started. They did say they might interchange some people. That'll be an 8-yard catch for Naylor.
And that's an 8-yard catch that should have been a 0-yard catch. Naylor runs into the back of his blocker. We have him stuck behind the line of scrimmage, and we just don't wrap up.
Carlsbad 2 for 2 in the passing game for 13 yards, and I'm sure I'll miss out on who the quarterback was. Oh, Naylor's going to run back out there. He's going back to receiver. It appears the new quarterback out of the field is Jalen Macareno. They bring a man in motion to the right side of Say. Throw it to Mercé on the 30. There's a flag on the line of scrimmage. Breaks a tackle far side and is pushed out of bounds at the 42. Might be a hold there, Coach.
Yeah, anytime you see a flag sitting in the middle of a line of scrimmage, that's usually a hold or perhaps a face mask.
Chains started to move down the field, and the referee said to put him to a halt. It is a holding penalty, as you mentioned, and we'll go against the Cavemen. 10 yards, 2 penalties for 15 total. And, Coach, switch up from quarterback to receiver. Any play call strategy there?
At this point, you see what their system is. You play the system. You don't play the personnel.
So that'll be a 10-yarder for the Cavemen. Backs him up to the 26. And, of course, last regular season game for both of these teams. Playoffs will be next week, and they'll announce those tomorrow night. You can check out the brackets at nmact.org. 2nd down and 11 now for the Cavemen at their own 26. They had 2 receivers way offside. They had to get back quick. They stack it left and right, 2 on each side. Assay in motion from the right side. Back to pass. Rolling to the right is Macareno to the far sideline. 20, 25, 30 on the carry, and he tries to backpedal for the few more that he got. That's going to be 7 for the backup quarterback.
About a 3rd and 4 situation here. And, really, they had a great angle on him, but the Ardo Algott in pursuit couldn't keep his feet under him and fell down. If he'd have kept his angle, he probably would have met him at the sidelines.
3rd down and 3 now for the Cavemen at their own 34-yard line. They trailed 20-0. And, Coach, that first quarter clock kind of went down pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah, when both teams are keeping the ball on the field and not getting out of bounds and no incomplete passes, that'll do it.
3rd down and 3 from the 34. On the right hash for the Cavemen. Trips left, receiver right. Now a 4th receiver coming to the left side. Macareno with the pump fake to the right. Double pump. He's going to loft it down on the seam route over the shoulder. It's caught in Hobbs territory at the 40 and continuing on down the field.
And that's just a busted play. Hobbs had initially covered it quite well, but unfortunately they just couldn't quite get there.
That'll be a 34-yard reception on that far sideline. As coming up with it is Chris Cerna. We'll take a quick break and come back live on Cool 95.7.
We had some beeping. You need to come back
to us, please. Right now.
3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to Watson Stadium. Sorry about the technical difficulties. As we get back, Carlsbad tries to throw a screen pass to the near sideline to Assay. It was a backward pass. It hit the turf and rolled to the near sideline, Coach. That would have been a fumble if Hobbs could have recovered it.
It had, but they went back to the line of scrimmage, so I guess they're saying it was a forward pass.
So it'll be a 2nd down at the 30-yard line, 2nd and 10. They had just completed a 34-yard pass. This is our technical difficulties completed to Chris Cerna. 2nd down and 10 out from the Eagle 30. Hobbs up 20-0 with 9:32 left first quarter. Trips left, 2 receivers right. Bring another man in motion to the left side. Back to pass, Macareno. 3-step drop, fires down the middle. Seam route, over the shoulder again. Little collision at the goal line that time as Armendariz went shoulder to shoulder with Eli Assay, and the ball sails about 5 yards deep into the end zone, incomplete.
Armendariz took a little bit of a bad angle there for a moment, corrected it, and Assay ends up running him over. And Armendariz is looking for a flag there, and he probably should have got one that looked like an offensive pass interference.
Yeah, just like in basketball, you are given your opportunity to pick up a place on the field, and you have a right to be there. Now, when you go out there on defense, secondary and on the receiving core, once you get out in that no man's land out there, the ball's in the air. That is a PI. You don't have to let somebody come ram you to the ground like that. Second down and 10, shotgun. Macareno throws the screen to the left side of the quarterback who started, Naylor. He has swapped up hard at the back behind the line of scrimmage and is wrapped up. We're going to see if they're going to give him any forward progress. Getting there quickly, Jordan Chisholm, and also had some help from his teammate on the near side. That was Easton Kirkendall that was helping it.
And really not a good job there holding on to the ball. It was a nice pass, hit him right in the hands. He tried to turn upfield too soon and just dropped it.
Yeah, they're going to say he juggled, so it does go to the turf, incomplete. Carlsbad is now 3 of 5 in the passing game for 47 yards. Fourth down and 10 for the Cavemen at the Eagle 30 on the right hash with 9:22 left in the second. They come back up to the line of scrimmage. They'll send 3 receivers left. They've been putting a lot of guys in motion here in this second quarter. Waiting for the shotgun, Macareno. And we got a lot of movement on the line. I think they got a timeout was called very briefly right before the snap, so they get the timeout in time to stop the action.
That was going to be a screen play the whole way. The lineman took off down the line as the ball was snapped.
So 9:22 left, second quarter, 20-0 Carlsbad trailing your Eagles. We'll come back in half a minute live on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
You're clear. Fifteen. 5, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to Watson Stadium. 20-0 your score. The Hobbs Eagles lead the Carlsbad Cavemen. And here's the voice of the Eagles, Ty Friend.
Well, Coach, we've seen a couple of drives where it was a fourth down situation for Carlsbad, but at the same time, this time they're in Hobbs Eagle territories, which is going to change the whole complexion. We've seen a couple of punts so far for Carlsbad, but this is definitely not the situation here. That's why they called the timeout. Carlsbad would like to get some points on the board before halftime.
And this is a big play for Carlsbad, because if they don't complete it here and we go down and score again, they've pretty much lost all hope. They have to put something on the board this series.
Well, we came into this game, Cavemen's currently sitting at number 11 on the Max Preps poll. They only take 12 teams in the playoffs, so they're kind of holding on for their dear lives. They've got Santa Fe behind them at 12, and then other teams are under 500, so they have a good shot of making it, but they want them to do a good showing to finish. 4th and 10 from the 30. Rolling left is Macareno. Pump fake. He's going to turn and fire the out route. Knocked it off the ground. Do they call that a catch or not? It's close. Won't even be close to the first down, though. That's Naylor making a diving on his back catch that time. It will be, it looks like, let's see what they're going to mark, 8 yards, but it's not enough for the first down.
Yeah, it won't matter. They didn't get enough for the first down, even though I don't think that was a catch. I think it bounced off the turf.
No, they aren't marking it as a catch, though. Yeah, it looked like he got down. Maybe his hand was barely underneath him, but they're going to put it to 22. That was an 8-yard reception, 2 catches for 16 for the starting quarterback, turn wide receiver, Naylor. Hobbs will get it on the turnover on downs, and they'll take it from their 21-yard line up 20-0. And some clock to run here at 9:10, and now the official's going to stop the action. Not sure what that's all about.
They're saying something to Stern. I think he has to come off the field.
They're going to send in for the Eagles on the substitution Omar Argot, backup quarterback, also playing some receiver now. Kind of keeps moving to the line, then he runs back to the sideline here on the right side.
Trying to get the play, I think.
Eagles will have a couple receivers shifting from left to right now to make it trips right, receiver left. Here's the shotgun for Graham. Turns and fires the right flat. Ball is caught up the near. Spin on the 20-yard line. That's Ethan Van Landingham trying to back his way for a yard or so. Maybe he gets back to line of scrimmage. Actually, I think he's going to lose 2. He could not get the footing he wanted.
Yeah, you know, the initial block on the corner wasn't there. Corner sloughed it and made the play.
Eagles are 8 of 10 in the passing game. Of course, Trevino the leader right now with 63 yards on 5 receptions. 2 for 14 for Thompson, 1 for 14 for Baeza. Second down and 11 from the 19. Back to pass, the out route, high shot to the 25. Caught and got out of bounds is Caden Trevino as he'll get ahead for 4.
And that was a nice little throw and catch, design play, got him on the outside, shortened it up, makes the third down much more manageable.
Third down and about 6 for the Eagles at the 26, still on their side of the field at the right hash. 2 receivers left, 1 right, and they'll bring a man in motion. Trevino gets a handoff right to left, reverse, cutting around the left end to the 25, 30, 35, and thrown down ahead to the 39-yard line for the first down.
Good running there from the Eagles. And Trevino, he carrying the ball. And then when he gets that ball and he gets a little bit open space, very dangerous.
He's got 2 carries for 18. That was a 13-yarder for Trevino. 6 first down for the Eagles as they move it up to their 39-yard line, leading 20-0 here in the second. Trips right, receiver left. 4 in the box for the Cavemen. Now they're going to come up and jam the receivers, 2 on the left side with the cornerbacks moving up.
Here we go over the top. They're going to come up and jam, and they're going to try to jam Trevino. He's going to run himself a little bit of a post.
Waiting for the shotgun for Graham. 3-step drop back to the 30. Steps up in the pocket, throws it down the middle of the field, and there was the man you looked for, Coach. Trevino at the right hash, but overthrows him high in the air by about 3 yards.
And, Trevino would have had a play on that. They kind of chipped him right before the ball got there. Kind of slowed down his progression, but no call.
Boy, that kid gets handoffs on the reverses. He goes out for pass plays. Kick returns, etc. He's kind of a jack of all trades on the offense.
If he was in the kitchen, he'd be like butter. You can use him in just about every meal.
Eagles are 9 of 12 in the passing games. It's Colton Graham is connected for 75% here in the first half. Trips right. 1 receiver by him's lonesome on the left side. Graham waits for that shotgun. Baez will get the handoff coming around the right end. Takes it around to the 40, 45, 50. Into Carlsbad territory at the 44. Another 14 yards for the little train, Diego Baeza.
And that was a nice play by Baeza. He got hit about 3 yards past the line of scrimmage, but he was able to just keep those feet moving, keep pumping, and he just kind of pulled that defender with him until he got the first down and more.
2 for 24 for Baeza, the 7th first down for the Eagles. Hurry up offense at the Carlsbad 46. Shotgun to Graham. Pump fake down the middle. Decides to throw it outside the last second. Down to the 31. Trying to get his footing was Trevino. Was going to try to keep it going up the sideline on the near side, but got out of bounds. But he does manage to pick up 15.
Yeah, great play there. Trevino keeping the ball in his hands. Turned and faced. He was trying to get upfield, but his weight just took him out of bounds.
That's his 7th reception. He's got 3 for double digits, 30, 21, and 15. That's the 8th first down for Hobbs, and they're 10 of 13 in the passing game for Colton Graham. At the 31-yard line of the Cavemen. Double stacks for the receivers, both sides. Graham with the delay handoff up the middle to Baeza, angling right now the 30. Takes a crowd within the 25. Almost break through them as well. And they had a nice block in the head for him for the Eagles, and that's number 65, Sonny Siossi, and that's for another 7 yards.
Yeah, Sonny Siossi just decided to be a Mack truck, just kind of get up there and plow the road for him, kind of cleared a path. Nice run and nice blocking.
He plowed 8 yards for Baeza. 2nd down and 2 now from the 23. Eagles put another play call for the audible. As they look to the sideline, does Coach really change all those plays? Is that just kind of a
It's
camouflage?
a check with me play. The first play is out there, and yes, he does change it.
3-step drop for Graham back at the 32. Fires into the out route. Actually, Curl coming back is Trevino at the 20. And he's right at the first down at about the 20 and a half. Should be enough, Coach.
Yep, it is. Yep, they got it and got about a yard extra.
He did a good job of coming to the sideline, then came back to help out his quarterback.
Yeah, and then when they call those check with me plays, okay, all their plays are on the wristband. So the same way he calls in a play in no huddle, he calls in that play after you check with me. So it doesn't change what we do any. It just allows him to see the defense.
That's the 9th first down for Coach Stevens and the Eagles. Have it at the 20-yard line. 11 of 14 in the game in the passing department. Clock down to 6:32 and ticking here in the second quarter. Eagles up over Carlsbad 20-0. Trips left, receiver right. Graham gets a shotgun, 3-step drop. Fires it to the fade in the right corner of the end zone. Diving attempt, and it's over the head of the intended receiver for the Eagles. That's Silas Cerna, middle of the end zone on the near sideline.
Yeah, and, Cerna had an opportunity for it, but he turned back. If he just kept running the route, he probably would have been there at the time the ball got there.
That would have been Cerna's first catch of the game. Would have been a touchdown, but a 2nd down and 10 on the incomplete. Right now you have a total of 8 catches for Trevino, 2 for Thompson, and 1 for Baeza. 2nd down and 10 now from the Carlsbad 20 off the right hash. 2 receivers left. Trevino in motion from right to left. Fake the handoff to him. Back to passes. Graham gets chased out to the left. Back to the 35. Heading to the far sideline to get away from pressure. Gups up the sideline. 25 and run out behind the line of scrimmage. Whoops. No, they're going to call him out further back than that at the 27-yard line.
Yeah, that didn't look like it was a busted play because the moment he got back in the pocket, he dropped that ball. And he didn't know where he was going with it. He started to run.
Unfortunately, that's a -7 for Graham, but he had a big chase on his backside that time, a big kid after him. In fact, looks like about 6'1", 250 pounds, a lineman that time, Zacchaeus Bryant, chasing him from behind.
I think I'd have ran faster, too.
Third down and 17 now from the 26. Shotgun for Graham. Twins left and right. Man in motion. Trevino left to right. Fake the handoff. Throw the screen pass to the right side is complete to Van Landingham. Comes around the right to the 20. Hurdles his last opponent and falls on his butt in front of that defender at the 19.
Now, here's where we got to make a choice. I think we're probably just out of our field goal range, and we're certainly not in punting territory. I think we're probably going to go for it here.
First catch for Van Landingham for 8 yards as the Eagles now 13 of 16 in the passing game. 4th and 9 from the Carlsbad 19 on the right hash. Clock will run with the complete pass down to 5:40. Looks like they will go for it, Coach. As Graham by himself in the backfield. Trips left, receivers 2 to the right. 3-step drop. Stays pocket down the middle on the fade. And there's the man, seam route actually down the middle. Trevino just wait for it at the goal line. No touch on him at all. 19-yard touchdown for the Eagles.
And just like that, man, we've taken this game and just taken complete control of it. We may be looking at stoppage time, garbage time here pretty soon the way it's going.
I have no complaints coming from me, Coach. Get this thing over with and get some more rest for the playoffs next week. Right?
Absolutely. Takes us to 26-0 pending the extra point.
Baeza out on the field. The kicker, Baeza, not Diego. Eagles are looking to the sideline. Do they have all their players in there? Usually that's a sign that they're missing one, but they don't bring anybody in. Low snap. Kick is low as well, and it barely gets inside the right upright. So a little shaky PAT, the second one in the game. First one was bobbled. That was just a low one, but Eagles able to put it through regardless from Baeza. 5:29 left, second quarter. Eagles up big, 27-0. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Play call.
Thank you.
Ten. 5, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to Watson Stadium. 27-0 your score. The Eagles lead. And here's the voice of the Eagles, Ty Friend.
Coach, I'm looking down on the field, seeing Coach Jett, one of the coaches for the Hobbs Eagles, with that big, wide TV screen. Did that ever happen when you were coaching? Did you get to use all that fancy equipment?
No. Specifically banned. They didn't have live television streams in Texas. You weren't allowed to use electronics at all.
So, yeah, it's kind of changed here, and the Eagles are doing a good job of getting that incorporated. Of course, we got our YouTube coverage now for you fans watching there, or if you haven't yet, you can try that out, especially the next few games. Eagles are going to kick off. Graham's going to send this one deep. It'll hit about 1 yard into the end zone on the left and rolls out of the back for the automatic touchback. So Colton Graham powering that one down and giving the ball to the Cavemen at the 20. And I think there got to be a little bit of urgency for this Carlsbad squad as they're in a big hole by 27.
At this point, when you look at the scoreboard and you see what you do, you go back to what you started the game with doing. They probably need to go back to their basics, go back to their game plan. They've probably gotten far away from it at this point because they were stretching. And so that they just need to kind of get back to what they want to practice and what they want to get better at.
Yeah, last week, 146 yards for Rodriguez for Carlsbad. Tonight, 3 carries for 4 yards, including -2 on one of them.
Got a score coming in. Lovington 19, Portales nothing. That's a second quarter score.
That's a district championship game, too, for the Wildcats. 1st and 10 from the 20 for Carlsbad. Twins left, receiver right. Bring a man in motion to Say. Fake the handoff, throw the dump over to the left near sideline. Caught, cutting up the middle now. Jonathan Fuentes gets spun around and a team tackle. 5-yard, 6-yard pickup as Fuentes comes down with it. But he was nailed hard and then got a lot of help for the Hobbs Eagle defense. Original hit from Ethan Van Landingham. And Van Landingham playing on both sides of the football in this one.
Yeah, he's one of those kids. He does whatever you ask him to do. If you told him you needed him to flip pancakes, he'd be out there doing it.
They're going to give him about 6 yards for Fuentes, 2 catches for 11 total. Carlsbad now 5 of 7 in the passing game. 2nd down and 5 now from their 25.5, and a flag comes before the snap on this near sideline in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. I think coaching staff kind of helped out with the call there. false start on the Cavemen. That'll be their second penalty for 15 yards. Both teams have 15 yards in penalties. Back it up to the 21. That's not something Carlsbad needs down 27-0.
No, it's not. And everybody was trying to help out with the penalty, as you said. They may not be referees, but they did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
4:47 left, second quarter. Eagles up by the 27. Second down and about 9 from the 20.5-yard line. Now the offensive lineman on the left side, tight end, or actually the tackle, steps forward, and he gets a penalty as the team will march back again. That was Ramon Loya for another 5, and things are starting to unravel.
Yeah, and that's what happens in games like this, you start to have a bunch of things go wrong, and then all of a sudden people just kind of lose their head and start making big mistakes.
Back it up to the 16 now. Second down and 14 for the Cavemen on that left hash from the 16. Twins right, one receiver left, and a left slot. Naylor in the shotgun. He gives the delay, gives it to Rodriguez at the middle. 20, 25, pulling people with him, backpedaling. He gets back some of the penalty yards and then some. So let's say about 12 for Rodriguez. That's his best carry of the night and for the Cavemen.
Yeah, and I think that was the Cavemen right there is probably the best thing that happened to them. They just needed a play just to get some confidence back.
Third down and 1 now for Carlsbad. They'll have it at their own 29. A very important play here, Coach. They do not want to have to punt again to the Eagles. They've done that 2 times and a turnover on downs as well.
Yep. And, deep in their own territory, they got a man down in the huddle right now.
Yeah, I thought he was given a play call there, but you're right. He's kind of sprawled out. We'll have to wait and see who that is. Appears to be a lineman. Looks like number 60 for Carlsbad. That is Ricardo Carrasco. They'll have to bring out the staff. We'll take a quick 30-second break. Eagles up 27-0, 4:19 left, second quarter.
Okay. $15. Five, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back. 4:19 left here in the second period. 27-0. Your Hobbs Eagles lead the Carlsbad Cavemen. And here's the voice of the Hobbs Eagles, Ty Friend.
Yeah, very close play call here now. 3rd and 1 for Carlsbad as the injured player leaves the field, one of their linemen, and that's Ricardo Carrasco we mentioned right before the break. Coach, you take a look at the playoff situation. The Eagles got themselves a spot. There's no question about it, especially with the 27-0 lead. The big point is can they get that number 8 seed and get to host next week, just like the 2 soccer teams did tomorrow?
Yeah, it's a possibility. It's definitely a possibility.
And pretty excited to see all those 3 teams. And you mentioned cross country winning the district championship today, too. So going for quite a few. I try to get that hardware at the end of the season.
And volleyball, undefeated in district play as well.
3rd down and 1 for the 29. Wishbone go to the left backer. He gets hit at the line of scrimmage, and he's going to go down. I don't think he fell forward enough for the first at times. The Eagles come in pinball style. That was Rodriguez with the football. And for the Hobbs Eagles, get down low, Kenyon Singleton.
They're giving them the first down.
Well, actually, no. I think are they or not? Yep.
He signaled.
Okay, so that's a 1-yard pickup. They would have had an extra down to try to get it with the 4th there. So Rodriguez will get the 1, and that'll be the 3rd first down for the Cavemen in the ball game at the 30-yard line. So that gives them a 4 fresh down look here with 3:45, not to their advantage, though. The clock running, down 27-0 to Hobbs. Slot right, receiver left, and a man in the backfield with Naylor. He'll bring his Asay in motion, flip it to him around the right end, 30. Up in it at the knees at the 33, gain of 2 on the play. A quick whistle going to be called there, get the timeout.
And a little extracurricular activity on the sidelines with Armandatis and one of the receivers from Carlsbad. And the receiver ends up with his helmet rolling about 10 yards away, and Armandatis walks away peacefully.
That'll be a 3-yard pickup for Asay. He's got 3 carries for 5 yards. And I was trying to get the number on the guy in there. I believe it was Aldo Argot that was in to make the stop there on that play. 2nd down and 7 now for the Cavemen at the 33 on the right hash. Naylor waits for the shotgun. Stack, 2 receivers left. Low snap. Handoff coming up the middle and trying to backpedal his way into the line of scrimmage, but he's not going to get much on this one. Committee tackling for the Hobbs Eagles, plowing through there.
And that was supposed to be their counter play right there. But the only thing is that not only did they bring the counter blockers on the line, the guard, the tackle combo, they also brought two people from the backfield. So it was a very odd-looking counter play. And everybody cut up, but the back tried to bounce outside and ended up costing him a chance to get yardage.
And as Rodriguez, the running back there, do you want to run into the brick wall, 6'4", 315-pound Gavin Brumley?
Yeah, I don't think I'd like to.
No gain on the play. 3rd down and 6 now. Shotgun low for Naylor. Give it to Rodriguez, angling right, cuts it back to middle, spins at the 40. He's getting the 1st down. Boy, that's a second effort for him as he'll plow ahead for 7 and then does one of those little point forwards to try to get the crowd riled up here.
Oh, yeah. You called your 1st down, first one you've had in a long time, so I guess you got to let the crowd know what it was because obviously they hadn't seen it recently.
What's that? The Broncos call it the Rocky Mountain Salute or something?
Yeah, and it's just, to me, it's just so showy. Yeah, you got a 1st down. Okay, give the referee the ball.
Not the scoreboard.
Give the referee ball and we'll get back in the huddle.
27-0 Eagles, 1st and 10 from the 42. Twins right, left, man in motion, coming to the left side. To a handoff at the last second to the tailback instead. He cuts up to the 45. That is Rodriguez as he'll pick up 5 or make it 4.
And see, here they are. They've gone back to their offense that they like to run. They got away from what they like to do because we forced them to do so when they got behind. Now they're running the offense. They're having a little success.
Yeah, the clock runs, Coach, down to 1:30 and ticking here in the second. They trail by 27. They have the ball at the 45.5 in Caveman territory still with a 2nd down and 7. 2 receivers right, one on the left side with the left hat or left slot back. Delay handoff to Rodriguez, right side, turns and spins, has a wrap up on the line of scrimmage and taking him to the ground for the Eagles, Aldo Argod. But you're thinking there might be a face mask on the line,
Yeah,
Coach.
I think that's what that laundry is.
Yep, Rodriguez gets a yard on that one. Let's see if it's the 5 or the 15. No, just 5, so incidental face mask. Give 1 yard to Rodriguez. Carlsbad fans are reacting pretty loudly across the field there, but it's only going to be the 5-yard variety. So that will be the 3rd penalty for the Eagles for a total of 20. And keeping it kind of quiet with the handkerchiefs, just 3 penalties per team so far, Coach.
Yep, it is. So I got that score. You wanted to know about Cleveland and Rio Rancho up north here, number 1 and number 2. Rio Rancho 27-14. They're in the 4th quarter.
Early start on that one. So that's a big Rio Rancho number 1 in the state. That was a 1st down for Carlsbad. 1st and 10 from the Eagle 49. Quarterback keeper around the right end. Naylor to the 45-40. Slides and continues to move with it. I guess his knee didn't go down. He gets enough for the 1st. That's 11 for the quarterback, Naylor.
Yeah, once you start to see everybody else run the ball, you kind of start to forget about the quarterback, and he keeps it himself, and you have to play catch-up because you weren't ready for it.
They've got about 3 first downs on this drive. I would think they'd rather have 6 points for each of those first instead of the first downs because clock is not to their favor with 45 and ticking here in the second. 27-0 Eagles.
Now they're going to get out of what they normally do and go into something else.
1st down and 10 from the 37. They're going to throw it to the left flat. Catch is made near the line of scrimmage. I see they're going to say this is a catch. That's Jonathan Fuentes. Yep, they're going to say it is for 3 yards for Fuentes and a quick timeout here to get another chance for some more passing opportunities. And it looks like 4 yards for Fuentes. That's his 3rd catch for 15 total. We'll keep it right here. Would it be a big win for the Eagles to hold them scoreless and not let them get a score on this drive here?
Yeah, I think it is. They're going to get the ball back in the second half. So if they scored here and then got the ball back, they could legitimately make it a 2-score game right off the bat in the second half, and now you're actually playing again.
So a big hole to dig out of, down 27-0, and Carlsbad is wanting to show some decent play here at Watson Stadium due to the playoff situation as they're hovering towards the last final spots, along with Santa Fe, who's ranked 12th. Now, Santa Fe is playing kind of a weak team tonight, Albuquerque High, who's 2-7 on the season. So probably a win for Santa Fe would move them to 7-4, and they're a winning record at that point. So that's going to definitely go in their favor. Now, Carlsbad just 3-5, Coach, and they're trying to just creep in. They can get a 4-5 record with the win tonight if they can try to come back on Hobbs, but they might get in the playoffs with a 3-6 record.
Yeah, that's well, that's New Mexico football for you. When you take this many teams and there's not many more teams, yeah, that's what happens.
Of course, you had some time in Texas, all those crazy regionals and bi-regionals and all the stuff that they got going on in that state.
Yeah, absolutely. When you have 300 teams in each division, it's much different for sure.
Second down and 8 for the Cavemen at the 34 of the Eagles. Twins left, receiver right, a slot right. Bring a man in motion to save from left to right. Back to pass. Naylor going to sail it with a far fade route to the far sideline. Caught at the 15 and brought across the 10. There's a flag late on the play. Fuentes down at the 9-yard line. So that's going to be a 25-yarder, make it even more than that, 27 for Fuentes. Late flag, does that mean against the Eagle defense?
Yeah, it's probably a face mask there too.
So Fuentes with his best catch of the game, 27. I wait to see. They're having a conference with the officials at the 11-yard line. Face mask. That's going to be a half the distance. 7th first down. And that's the 7th reception for Carlsbad. It was at the 9, so that's going to be about a 4.5-yard tack on there, half the distance from the 9s where the penalty happened.
Yeah.
Or actually 5.5 because I think it's the flag was – well, no, that should be a tack onto the end. So that's going to drop it down to the – looks like the 2-yard line is where they're going to put it. So we'll go ahead and give them 5 on the penalty there on the
question is whether we can hold here.
7 first downs now for the 2. Carlsbad trying to score first time in the half here. Man in motion right to left. Flick it to him. That's a say. Gets pushed back to the 10, to the near side, trying to break. He's losing his balance. He's going to turn around and head to the middle of the field to the 15-10. Gets pulled down by the helmet at the 5. No flag on that one. They're definitely going to throw one on that. But they didn't. And that's going to actually end up being a loss after all that running in the backfield, running for his friggin' dear life, Coach.
Yeah, you did about 40 yards of total running to lose about a yard on the play.
-1 for a say and a timeout called. Eagles chasing him around, and ball will be stopped at the 5-yard line, so a 2nd and goal from the 5. We'll keep it here at Watson. 27-0. The Eagles just trying to keep their Carlsbad team out of the end zone here to have a scoreless game, or scoreless for Carlsbad at least at halftime. And as you mentioned, Cavemen would love to go on a little momentum here, score and get the ball back.
Yeah, you got 6 seconds. So this is probably the last play right here. This is it. You can get one stop here. It's going to be completely devastating to Carlsbad. They won't come out with any energy in the second half because they couldn't punch it into the first.
Of course, we're following some other games tonight. You already mentioned the Rio Rancho lead over Cleveland. That's number 1 versus number 2.
And that one was one where it was a 20-0 game at half, and they're actually coming back to make it a game.
What was that score again? 27-14?
27-14.
Rio Rancho. And again, those teams are both undefeated. The loser is going to probably be a number 2 seed, I would think, and number 1 would be the winner, the district champs of that division, or of that district. 2nd down and goal now from the 5. Carlsbad down 27 points. Both crowds are getting loud here. Split formation backfield for the first time tonight. Single receiver left and right. They bring a man in motion from the left slot. Rolling right. Naylor to chuck it to the back of the end zone. Diving attempt for Fuentes. No, he bobbles it on the back end line, but they're going to give him 1 second left on the clock, Coach. Incomplete.
Oh, no. That clock should have ran out.
One more play going to be for Carlsbad.
And that seemed it took a lot longer than 6 seconds.
He was sprawled out, Superman style. His stomach hit the turf and just barely flicked off the end of his fingertips to the back line of the end zone for Fuentes, who's been getting a lot of the passes here in the second quarter. They're now 7 of 14 in the passing game. 50% from Naylor. And now a 3rd down from the 5. No more first downs. Only 1 second left here in the first half. Eagles up 27-0. Would like to keep it that way at the half. And now a late timeout going to be called for the Hobbs Eagle defense. And they definitely want to make sure they're going to stop this play.
And they're playing a little chess match here. Hobbs had timeouts left. Carlsbad didn't. They saw what Carlsbad lined up in, kind of knew what they wanted to do. We call a timeout and make Carlsbad do something different.
We'll take a quick 30-second timeout. 27-0 Eagles. Come back with us.
Your call. $15. 5, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back. 27-0. Your score here at Watson Stadium, the Eagles are over the Carlsbad Cavemen. 1 second left here in the second period. Carlsbad threatening to score. Here's the voice of the Eagles, Ty Friend.
Coach, normally Rodriguez is a go-to man in the running game, but really hasn't been doing much tonight so far. They've been throwing a little bit of passes down the middle here to try to spread out the Eagle defense a bit. They got one last opportunity here to score in the first half. What's Coach doing over there?
I bet you he runs some sort of trick play, a counter play, misdirection. I don't think he's going to line up and try to pile you.
I wouldn't be surprised if they go to that Asay kid. He has a lot of speed out there. So going to be third down from the 5. By himself is Naylor. He's going to roll right after the shotgun snap. He chucks it to the right side of the end zone. There's a flag in the backfield. A catch made at the goal line by Fuentes. He's going to go up with a big chest bump with his teammate, but there's a flag in the backfield.
Yeah, that's a holding call.
Holding penalty against Carlsbad. You got to take the penalty, and that will be one last play, correct?
Yeah, and
yes.
You know what happened was Brumley had a pretty good line in the quarterback. Tackle was beat. And basically what they did was grab him and just jerk him to the ground because they couldn't stop him from getting to the quarterback.
So that's going to be the 5th penalty for Carlsbad for 40 yards. And you can't end the half on a defensive foul. That's why they get another shot at it from the 20. And, boy, you just wish well, I guess you don't wish anything. That would have been a touchdown otherwise because he didn't make the catch. Fuentes was brought out on the goal line. He's been having to put his body on the line for some of these passes the last few times.
Yeah, he has. I mean, passing's not what Carlsbad does well.
So back it up to the 20, still a third down. They have to go to the end zone only. No first down opportunities with no time remaining. Untimed down here for the Cavemen at the Eagle 20. Middle of the field here. 2 receivers head left. A little bit of confusion now in the backfield as they move one of the slot men over to the right side. Naylor put a man in motion to the right. That's Rodriguez. So now he's by himself. Now a whistle stops action.
That's motion.
There's no flag out, though. Now we're having a big conference in the line of scrimmage. The players are coming around the officials. They said something about the clock. There can't be any time. Oh, they had 1 second.
1 second left, yes.
Not that it matters.
Yeah, it's an untimed down. But
yeah. Now this one for official reasons. I don't know if they're going to probably take a second here to get that.
They're just trying to procrastinate.
Carlsbad getting a chance to catch their breath here. One final play, regardless. Still don't have it up on the scoreboard. Wait for the shotgun for Naylor. Twins left and right. Single setback. Rodriguez goes in motion again to the right side for a trips towards the Carlsbad sideline. 3-step drop for Naylor. Gets pressure. He'll roll left to the 30, to the near side, 25. Throws it on the right to the corner left in the end zone. High over the top of the head of the intended receiver, Chris Serta, near the end zone middle part of the sideline left. And boy, Naylor getting very suspiciously close to converting that into the end zone, but the Eagles hold on and keep Carlsbad scoreless at the half, 27-0. Great way to end on the defensive note, Coach.
Yeah, and Carlsbad coaches are not happy with something. They're on the field catching that crew coming to the locker room here at halftime.
Yep, big discussion going to go on with Coach, and we'll take a break. 3 minutes and we'll be back as the Eagles lead at half, 27-0 over Carlsbad. You're listening live to Hobbs Eagle Football on Cool 95.7, also HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube.
Very clear. Two minutes. 1 minute.
Please give me one more.
Okay. One minute. Thirty. Ten. 5, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back. 27-0 at halftime. The Hobbs Eagles lead. Here's the voice of the Eagles, Ty Friend.
Let's take a look at some of the numbers, first of all, in this ball game. First for Carlsbad, who tends to rush it a lot more than they do pass it. Their leader right now is Rodriguez, 9 carries for 29 yards. Naylor, the quarterback, the starter at least, he did get subbed at receiver a couple of times. He was 2 for 15 in the running game. Asay, 4 for 4. Barnes, 2 for -1. And Mascareno, who was the backup quarterback, had a carry for 7 yards. Carlsbad had 18 rushes in the first half for 56 yards in the running department. Passing game for Carlsbad, Jonathan Fuentes with 3 catches for 42 yards, a long of 27. He had a diving catch there at the end, but called it a holding penalty on the line, moved that one back, so he did not get a chance to score. Also moving to wide receiver for a few plays in the first half, Dane Naylor, the quarterback, also WR. He was 2 for 16 on receptions. And last but not least, Chris Cerna had a catch for 34 yards, their long of the first half. Carlsbad was 7 of 10 in the passing game for 92 yards. 24 plays for Carlsbad in the first half for 148 yards. They had a total of 7 first downs, 6 penalties for 40 yards, 2 punts, and a turnover on downs, Coach.
And, I think timely first downs was their problem. They actually moved the ball quite well, but they got it in chunks and then all of a sudden stalled. They were not able to get the timely first downs when they needed it.
And I think really key for the Eagles are keeping Rodriguez in check. Triple-digit rushing last week against Oregon Mountain. Only 9 of 29 in this game and a long of 12. So no really big breakaways for him so far. He's kind of slid off some people a few times, but no big break-em type plays.
Yeah, and really they didn't have much of that rushing yardage till right at the end of that last drive.
I think Coach Stevens and the defensive staff over there for the Eagles are probably talking about Fuentes, though. He's been getting through for some catches, almost had a touchdown there at the end of the second.
Yeah, and I think that we kind of just let up. You got yourself a big lead. Carlsbad was deep in their own territory. We just didn't come out that last drive with the same energy. Not until they got down and tried to score at the end, and all of a sudden we came out and played.
Switching over to the Eagles now. Only a total of 8 rushing carries in this game, Coach. The leader at this point is Diego Baeza, 3 carries for 32 yards. He had a 10-yard touchdown run to get the thing going. He also got another one for 25 yards, so he definitely is taking care of business in terms of running the football. So I'm actually short on him on yardage here. He should be 4 carries for 57 yards.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about him getting to the 100 mark today, and he's on pace to do that. And it's been timely running. He's had good runs on second and long situations and third and long situations that resulted in first downs.
So 9 total carries for the Eagles for 75 yards in the first half. Was that, you think, a play plan for Coach Stevens to throw the ball a little bit more than what he has been seeing a lot of the
you
first
called
halves?
it. I'll say that. You called it. You saw it in the stats, and you saw that was going to be there. He still kept the balance, but he's leaned a little bit more to the passing. And, boy, what they saw in film worked really good early. I mean, they came out and hit their first 4 or 5 passes and just went right up the field.
Yeah, the majority of those pass receptions by Caden Trevino. 8 catches, 85 yards, including a 30-yarder for a touchdown. A couple other double-digit plays, 21 and 15. He's kind of those breakaway kids. You get a piece of his jersey, that's not good enough.
No, it's not. You're going to have to put your screws of your helmet on him. If you don't do that, he ain't going down.
A couple other guys coming up with receptions. Corbin Thompson, 2 for 14. Baeza coming out of the backfield, a catch for 14. And Van Landingham, who's playing both ways, he had a catch for 8. Eagles were 12 of 16 in the passing game for 121 yards. 21 plays in the first half, Coach, for 171 yards. So 23 better in terms of yardage versus Carlsbad.
Yeah, but our yardage was very timely. I mean, it was – we got our yardage and got the first downs when we needed. They didn't. And that's been the difference maker in this game. We talked about turnovers. Well, it hasn't been turnovers. It's making those first downs when it counts.
Yeah, no turnovers at all for either team at this point. 9 first downs for the Eagles, and the penalties have been pretty silent, 3 for 20 in the first half. So that's something definitely you want to see as you get deeper and deeper towards the postseason.
Yeah, and you want to have those clean games, and that's what you really, really need to have, games where you're not getting the penalties and you're not getting the turnovers.
So Eagles 171 yards. And Carlsbad 148 as we get ready for the second half. Hobbs Eagle Marching Band on the middle of the field. Their final, maybe that might have one performance next week. Hopefully get a home game for the playoffs. But this is their senior night. So a lot of excited seniors here with one of their final shows of the year. We'll come back with you in here in a couple of minutes. Let's make it 3 because we got an extended halftime show. Hobbs up 27-0 over Carlsbad. We'll be back in 3 minutes live on Cool 95.7, YouTube, and HobbsAmerica.com.
You're clear. Two minutes. One minute.
Add another 30, please.
Okay. 30. Fifteen. 5, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to Watson Stadium. 27-0. Your Eagles are up on the Cavemen as we get ready for third quarter action. Here's the voice of the Eagles, Ty Friend.
Quick rundown of the scoring in the first half, all for the Eagles, of course. 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, 30-yard pass from Colton Graham to Caden Trevino, 6-0 at the 9:04 mark. Missed the PAT on the first one. A 10-yard run for Diego Baeza made it 13-0 at the 4:09 mark in the first quarter. And then with 5 seconds left in the opener, a 25-yard run for Baeza, 2 touchdowns for him, 20-0 the score. Eagles add on another one in the second quarter with 5:29 remaining. That'll be a Colton Graham 19-yarder to Trevino for his second touchdown of the game. Again, 27-0 your score at the half. And Coach, looking around the top division in the state, the 6A, in terms of the playoffs tonight, Rio Rancho and Cleveland, of course, and not the playoffs, but the final game of the regular season. That's a district championship game in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Those two teams are battling it out. There was a double-digit lead for Rio Rancho in that one. They are the number 1 team so far. Those two teams have a combined 16-0 record between the two. Rio Rancho at 7-0 and Cleveland at 9-0. So that'll be interesting to see how that one pans out the rest of the night. They had a little bit of an earlier start time. We'll see if we'll get you an update here very quickly.
Yeah,
Coaches.
that was a 6 o'clock game, so they should be pretty much wrapping up about now.
You said there was a comeback in that one,
There
right?
was a comeback in the fourth quarter. It says negative 2 minutes to go here. I'm not sure if that's an accurate thing, but it shows Rio Rancho up 27-21. So Cleveland definitely coming back in the second half.
The big question that we know for sure, the winner is going to get the number 1 seed. The question is whether they'll go ahead and give the number 2 to the loser of that game, which would only be their first loss. And you would think they would, even though they're from the same district and from the same town as well. So, Again, we'll try to get that final here quickly. Third, currently in the Max Preps poll, La Cueva, they're from the District 2. And then, of course, the Eagles district is represented at 4 and 5 in the Max Preps poll. Centennial and also Las Cruces. And, of course, Centennial is already the district champ, so they've locked up at least a 1 through 4 seed for next week's playoffs. So we'll have a bye.
Yes.
We know that for sure. I would venture to say Rio Rancho, Cleveland will have byes. And the question mark, whether or not Las Cruces can sneak in there, I doubt they could. La Cueva currently is in third, so that's going to be kind of hard to move them out. So I'd bet they're going to stick with the top 4 Max Preps, Rio Rancho, Cleveland, La Cueva, and Centennial, which would mean that Las Cruces would probably be one of the second-tier teams that would have to host a home game next week.
Yeah, you're looking at 5, 6, 7, and 8 hosted home games. Cruces would be one. Hopefully we're going to be one as well.
Yeah, Las Cruces is at 5 right now in the poll. Cibola, who's from District 1, is 6. They're the same district as Rio Rancho and Cleveland. Volcano Vista is at 7. They're also from District 1, so that was a loaded district this year. And then Hobbs at number 8 from District 3. So if you keep those 8 teams in the way they are in the Max Press poll, which is going to be pretty close to what they end up being, you're going to have 3 teams from District 3, which is the Hobbs district, 4 teams from District 1, which is the Rio Rancho Cleveland district, and then 1 team from District 2, which is La Cueva. So pretty lopsided to 2 districts there.
Yeah, and Cibola and Volcano Vista both are equal at 5 and 4 on the year, and they're actually 14-7. Cibola's up in that game right now. They're playing each other today.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of tight finishes. Committee's got to look very carefully tomorrow before they announce the 12 seeds. After Hobbs, which could end up being an issue in terms of who gets a home game or not, you got El Dorado. It's right behind the Eagles at number 9. Sandia, number 10. And they're finishing up one of their games tomorrow. They had a delay in one of them, so they will play Manzano finishing up tomorrow. Manzano just 1-7, so Sandia should probably win that one and be 5-4 on the season. Then you have Carlsbad and Santa Fe. After that, I don't think there's any chance for any teams to move up. Clovis is number 13. They lost to El Dorado last night, 50-14 for their final game of the regular season. They're right now at 3-6. I don't think there's any chance for them to move up, so they're probably going to be out. But it's going to be Santa Fe probably around 11 or 12, and Carlsbad, if they continue to get beat badly, they're going to be at 11 or 12 in the seeding as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They may not actually hang on to the seed. It's hard to say. It's going to be really close, and whether they take an extra team out of our districts.
Yeah, I mean, you got Oregon Mountain at 14, of course. Clovis already beat Oregon Mountain. I believe they played them this year. I mean, and then the other thing, Hobbs has beat Oregon Mountain, so that's definitely going to help them out, being ahead of them in the final ranking. So, again, tomorrow they will announce it tomorrow night, nmact.org is the New Mexico Activities Association website. They'll have a preview show on there as well that you can check out, so if you want to see it live, but they'll have the brackets on after that. So next week, teams 8 through 12 will host. Could be a home game for the Hobbs Eagles here at Watson Stadium. If not, more than likely going to be packing their bags either for more than likely Albuquerque and way outside potential of Las Cruces.
5 through 8 will host.
Right. So
yeah, okay.
I said the wrong ones there. 5, 8.
After that,
9 through 12
will travel.
Right. So, yeah, anyway, there's a good possibility that Las Cruces will have that number 5 slot, so they would be the first host team there, and then we'll see how it goes down from there. So, hopefully the Eagles stand on those bottom 3 or 4 teams and get them a chance to have a home game here. Of course, tomorrow, home teams soccer for girls and boys here at Watson Stadium. 1 and 3 o'clock start times. And for number 4 seeds, you got to love that.
Yeah. And, the girls, I think both the girls and the boys at one point knocked off the number 1 team in the state during their schedule this year. The very, very, very good teams, very, very capable of making a long run in the playoffs.
Of course, the boys, district champs, definitely taking care of business throughout the season. So glad to see both of those squads getting a chance to punch their ticket. And I believe after that they'll have there's a couple games next week. I believe Wednesday or so is when they start the next round, which would be a couple more rounds left of the state tournament.
You got cross country advancing, both of them winning district, and you got volleyball undefeated, looking to sweep the district play and go into the playoffs.
Now you had the Roswell game Tuesday night, and they beat Clovis last night too.
Yeah, and they are just on a roll, and you can't speak enough of the play of Wisdom Anthony and Anaya Joseph, and getting great sets from Sarahi Gutierrez. That squad is really firing all cylinders. I believe they have a 10-game win streak right now.
And a couple of those girls you just mentioned, too, are just a week or 2 away from basketball. I mean, they have to finish up volleyball first, but I would bet that they're probably dribbling a ball somewhere in between, aren't they?
It's not like you're riding a bicycle, right? You can't remember how to dribble.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, we were talking before the game, too. You're an old UTEP alumnus there, but big game tomorrow, and, of course, one of our former Hobbs Eagle quarterbacks doing a pretty good job for the Miners.
Yeah, UTEP's traveling over to Florida Atlantic. UTEP 7-1 on the season, and they're kind of eyeing next week because they've got undefeated UTSA ranked in the top 20, and they're coming to UTEP, and I believe ESPN's going to have that as the game day. And old Gavin Hardison, leading the UTEP Miners, Hobbs product, and really turned around a program that's been a perennial loser for years and years and years, for decades. And it's really nice to see the Miners out there playing on a public stage. You can play on ESPN too, because it's going to be really the marquee game of the week.
And they picked off UNM too this year, right?
Yeah, UNM and New Mexico State.
So that's the two that you want to have so close, especially, of course, Las Cruces just 30-some minutes away on drive time up there.
Yeah.
But right here, Eagles pretty much routing this Carlsbad team. Stopped the last few-second touchdown there to go up 27-0. 4:20 left on the clock here before we get started in the second half. Hobbs back on action here in Watson. We'll be back with you in 3 minutes.
You're clear. You said 3 minutes, Ty?
Yes, please.
Okay, just making sure. Two minutes. 1 minute.
Another 30, please.
Okay. One minute. Thirty. 15. 5. 3, 2, 1, go.
We're back live here at Watson Stadium, the final regular season game of the Hobbs Eagle District schedule and playoffs hopefully next week for Hobbs, as they'll find that out tomorrow night. Same with Cleveland. Carlsbad. Cleveland will definitely be in too, but 12 teams make it from the 6A. And, of course, the Eagles in a pretty decent position at this point. Would love to continue on the rock and roll that they've got going on right now at 27-0. And, Coach, last game of the season, teams are being watched for their records, number one. All the committees going to be watching that, first of all. District champs will be looked at. Of course, the Eagles won't qualify there. But if you finish up the season with a big win, that pretty much helps your resume a little bit, right?
Yeah, last score they see, obviously how you're playing at the end is more important than where you started. Hey, got a score coming in from Lovington. Still 19-0, but they're getting ready to start the third period.
And that's a district championship for the Lovington Wildcats with the victory there. Of course, Eunice and Jow in pretty good position. Jow especially been ranked number one for quite a bit of the season. Beat Eunice earlier this year. Have you had a chance to see them yet?
I have not seen them. I mean, I've followed them for the last few years, and they had a lot of young kids coming up that looked really good, and they were playing, good amounts of time. Those kids are really finally coming into their own.
Their quarterback went down in the Eunice game. I think it was like midway through the first quarter, and so they had to have other guys step up. He's got a couple of brothers on the team, including that Boise State signee, too, that big lineman. Boy, he's a monster.
Yeah, he is a big deal.
We got a kickoff now for the Hobbs Eagles. They're going to have to give Carlsbad opportunity to run some offense here, as Colton Graham been doing the kicking duties for the Hobbs squad. They're going left to right on the radio dial. Cavemen have 3 back deep around the 10-yard line, including Say, who's the deepest at the 10. He'll go toward the right side of the end zone and rolls out and is kind of doing the bullfighting type of Olay situation over there was Jonathan Fuentes. He just kind of put his hands and just brushed it back towards the football as it rolled past him.
As many as he had to return in the first half, I think he probably wanted to take that play off.
And I'm betting there's been a lot of talk about Fuentes at halftime for the Hobbs Eagle defense to make sure that he's not the go-to guy like he was in the first half. I mean, he only had 3 catches, but almost a touchdown there right before the clock expired. So it'll be an automatic touchback as the Cavemen start at the 20.
The defensive series is real important here in the second half. Carlsbad trying to get some sort of momentum going. You really don't think that they're capable of coming back in the game, but you certainly don't want them to make it a game and lose our momentum going into the playoffs.
They had 148 yardage in the first half, 56 ground, 92 in the air. Got the pitch to the tailback, comes up the middle, Rodriguez, and he's just barely getting his helmet to the line of scrimmage, not much more than that. Eagles swamp on down, though. They know who their primary backer is for this K-Man squad. Give credit for the Eagles on defense, Jesus Maganda.
And the initial hit was made from the safety, Hector Armendariz, on a run blitz. And it was like Coach Stevens, they knew what was being run there because they sure sent that safety through the right hole.
I'm going to say -1 for Rodriguez now. 10 carries for 28 yards after 162 performance against Oregon Mountain last week in a 2-touchdown victory for the Cavemen. Back to the wishbone. 2nd down and 11 from the 19. Underneath the center's Naylor. Brings a man in motion to the left. They fake the pitch, roll left, does Naylor, tucks it in his left shoulder, and then tries to cut back up the middle. 20, 25, far sideline, 30, 35, 40, 45, into Hobbs territory, or barely makes it to the 50. I guess they're going to say he was down before that. 30-yard run for Naylor, going left and cutting back to the right, but as a penalty marker back at the 42, which might be a good sign for the Eagles.
Yeah, and there should have been a penalty marker back at the 22 because there was a block in the back as the quarterback changed directions, and that one should have come back.
Block in the back is what it's going to be from about the 42. That's going to be back to the 32-yard line. So a gain of 12 for the running back, and that was the quarterback Naylor.
And the block in the back is 10, not 15.
Yeah, 10 yards, yes. All the flagrant stuff, the PIs, the personal fouls with the 15. So bring it back to the 32. That was a first down anyway, so that'll be the 8th first down for the Cavemen. They had 7 at half.
Well, at least they got the second one right. They sure missed the first one.
So 32-yard line with the 1st and 10 for Carlsbad on the right hash. They trail the Eagles 27-0. Hobbs coming in with a 4-5 record, trying to get to 500. 3-5 for the Cavemen. Fake the pitch, handoff on the right side of the 40, 45, putting his head down, blocking through 3 guys to the 50, and it'll be a first down pickup. 20 yards on the carry that time.
And that was just the counter play. You know, the quarterback fakes that pitch, got all the motion going one direction. Running back comes across his face, takes it the opposite direction with a guard pull.
Longest carry for Rodriguez in the game for 20 yards. He has 48 on the ground on 11 carries. That'll be the 9th first down for the Cavemen in Hobbs Eagle territory at the 49. Back to the wishbone. Underneath the center, Naylor. Receiver right. Nobody on the left. On the receiving core. Bring a man in motion to the left side. Fake the handoff. Rolling right. Quickly is Naylor. Kind of ballooning it out to the 50 and heads angled to the far sideline for the Carlsbad bench to the right side.
Looks about a gain of 2 here. Didn't get much. Got out of bounds. Maybe even 1 yard.
Yeah, just 1. And boy, look, he stretched it out for more, but I guess his foot kind of slid out first to the 48. Gain of 1, as you mentioned.
Good call by the Zebras on that one.
4 carries for 28 yards, 7 a pop for the starting quarterback, Naylor, who's come out a few plays to switch to receiver and brought in Macareno. 2nd and 9 now for the Cavemen on the right hash. 3rd quarter action, 27-0. All the scoring coming in the first half for the Eagles. Yet to get a offensive possession here. Wishbone. They bring that front man in motion to the left side. Give the ball off to the right tailback. Heads up the middle. 40, 35, 30, and brought down to the 28. Another first down pickup. Be a 22-yarder for the Cavemen, and that will be another back that just got it for the first time. We'll have to see who that is, and they say number 12, but I don't see a number 12 on the roster here. That will move the chains. It'll be 10 first downs.
And the Carlsbad faithful are wondering where this offense was in the first half.
They'll have it at the 29 of the Eagles on the right hash. Break the huddle, come back up to the line, do the Cavemen with the receiver right side, back to the wishbone where they started the game in this formation. The Eagles are going to load up the box with 6 up there. Man in motion, slide to the left, pitch left to the 30, stretching out to the near sideline, 25, barely getting there. And that same backer, number 12, is the one that picks up the carry. Late flags flying from all directions. He's going to get, looks like 4 on that one.
And,
actually, make it 3.
Great play by Royal, who was just trying to string out the play, was able to get the cornerback off him and trip him up. Was there some extracurricular activity behind the play?
Yeah, after that, those were late flags, way after the tackle had been made, so I'm not sure what happened. Personal foul. We got 2 fouls, so it's going to cancel out. 1 on each team, personal foul, so probably some late hitting after the whistle.
Oh, they probably decided they didn't like each other and wanted to settle their differences.
So now got to sort this one out here. They're going to mark it at the 21, or make it the 26-yard line on the left hash. And that will.
Coach Stevens, he came off the bench to talk to them. I don't think that he thinks they deserve their half of that penalty.
So a 3-yard pickup. So that number 12 that just came in has 2 carries for 25 yards. So doing some damage on the Eagles here in this 3rd quarter. Didn't see him in the first half. Trying to track down a name for you at the break there.
Yeah, Carlsbad riding a horse with no name.
Second down and 7 at the 26-yard line. Wishbone formation, receiver right, Naylor underneath the center. Eagles with 5, make it 4 in the box. Gap up the middle. Some linebackers coming to the tailback, angling right is Rodriguez, and he's slung down by the waist. Ball comes out late, but I think the Whitecap has him down early. He gets back to the 25 before he hit the turf, and the ball came out. Of course, the ground can't cause a fumble anyway. I don't think he's going to get a gain on the play, though.
No, he didn't. That's going to bring up a third and about 6 or 7, but this is still 4-down territory for them, so that they can stay in what they're doing and try to get 3 or 4 a pop.
12 carries for 48 yards for Rodriguez. It's a 3rd down and 7 now for the Cavemen at the Eagle 26. As they're in the middle of the field here. Back to the Wishbone. Clock down to 9:20 left, 3rd quarter. Eagles up 27-0. Fake the pitch, roll left goes Naylor. Around the left end of the 25, breaks a tackle, spins, backpedals to the 22.
And Royal, again, the first one to hit the quarterback and spun him around. What they do is they fake the pitch and act like they're going to hand off the counter, but instead of handing off the counter, he just continues on and becomes basically a quarterback sweep.
That's going to be the 5th carry for Naylor for 33 yards. 4th down and 2 now for the Cavemen. He did stay in bounds in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench on the near side. Clock is running.
Lovington scored again. It's now 25-0 there in Portales.
So punch that district championship ticket for Coach Gonzalez and the Lovington Wildcats. They're number 1 in the state currently, and they probably will have a bye this coming week in the playoffs. Wishbone again on a 4th and 2. They got to make sure the defense doesn't jump. Now a timeout is called for the O, as the Cavemen want to make sure this play converts. I don't know if they might go for the end zone here. Eagles might be thinking they're just going to hand off up the gut, or Naylor's been running it quite a few times on this series, Coach.
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes there's a lineman that gives you a tell. And the offensive lineman, the right tackle on the far side, 55, was in a very open stance. He was actually in a stance that looked like he was ready to pull backwards in pass protection. And a lot of times if you have a linebacker that's really, really, really smart, he can see those kind of things and start picking up on it. But I've not seen him line up that way. So I wonder if they were actually going to do a little pass play, but they weren't expecting out of that formation.
Well, that's before the timeout, so what happens after the timeout?
Whether they stick to the play or not. It'd be interesting to see if the tell's still there after the timeout.
Is that the type of stuff as a coach on the field has that dimension to be able to see that spread that you just mentioned?
As a coach, you can't communicate that quickly onto the field. You have to have players trained to see it themselves, players smart enough to realize it. Hey, I've seen him line up that way, a certain way, every time this game, and all of a sudden you start screaming out the play call because you've seen it. And that happens. You get players that are smart enough to do that, and they're basically coaches on the field.
Or smart announcers up in the press box.
Channeling my inner Tony Romo here.
So 4th and 2 after the Carlsbad timeout. They have it at the Eagle 21 on the left hash. Need to get to about the 19. And a Wishbone back again for the Cavemen. They've been sticking to this formation for much of this 3rd quarter. They started the game with it and came out of it after that. One receiver to the far side. Naylor underneath the center in a low crouch. Eagles are wholly blocking up that line. There's a fumble on the line of scrimmage. It's going to be dropped to the turf, recovered by the Cavemen. It's going to be a loss, though, as coming up with it is Merced Rubio, the guard for the Cavemen, which is going to turn into maybe just the line of scrimmage, but the ball came loose on the snap.
Yeah, and he did not come out of there with the ball, so Hobbs Eagles get a nice freebie right there.
So turnover on downs for the 2nd time in the ball game, 1 in each half. There's been 2 punts, 2 turnovers on downs, but no turnovers in terms of fumbles or INTs for either team, Coach.
Yeah, it's been a very clean game as far as that's concerned.
Eagle football at the 22 of their own. They've got 4 receivers stacked up on the left side, 1 on the right. By himself, Graham going to throw the quick screen pass left side to the 25, 30, 35, 40. Baez into the 50, 45, 40. Carlsbad 30 up the far sideline to the 25.
And that was just a nice little bubble screen out there. They went ahead and sealed it for him. He went right up the gut, turned on the afterburners. Big play for the Hobbs Eagles.
That's going to be 54 yards for Baeza. That's going to be his 2nd catch for 68.
Man, when he got going, too, he had a little bit of a jet coming out of his backside.
10 first downs, 1st and 10 from the 26. Back to pass. Graham out of a three-step draw, fires on a fade route to the right side of the end zone. Oh, falling to the ground on his back and coming off his hands. He was by himself trying to make the catch, but flopped down to Silas Cerna, and he was kind of going backwards and didn't come up underneath the ball, kind of flattened out. And trying to reach back for it, and it comes off his fingertips. I think he was expecting a helmet to come on him.
I think the ground is what caused that ball to come off. We went to the ground with the ball, and it popped out.
So no touchdown on that one. I'm sure he would like to have it back. Kind of slammed the turf after that. 2nd and 10 for the Eagles at the 26 of the Cavemen. Twins left and right on the stack look. Come out of the play call on the audible. Clock to 7:57 left, third quarter. Eagles still up 27-0, the halftime score. Graham waits for the shot. Gives the ball off to Baez up the gut. Puts his head down hard. Pulls the crowd with him to the 20 for a 6-yard pickup.
Gives him about a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3 situation. It's going to be one of those that this is 4-down territory. We're not going to punt. I mean, it's not a place we're going to punt or kick a field goal. So what do? Probably just keep it on the ground again, or maybe a short pass.
That was the first carry for Baez in the second half. 5 overall for 63 yards to lead the Eagles on the running game. 2nd down, make it 3rd down, and 4 for Hobbs at the 20 of the Cavemen. They send 2 receivers right, 2 to the left. And Baez in the backfield along with his quarterback, Graham. 3-step drop back to the 31. Fires in the middle of the end zone on the post route. Catches at the back of the end zone. That'll be a 20-yard snag for the TD. And that's Mr. Trevino scoring for the 3rd time.
Yeah, go figure. You got to go to your go-to man. Trevino is that guy. Easy touchdown for the Eagles across the middle.
20 yards on the reception for Trevino. He had 2, or actually 1 in the first quarter and 1 in the second quarter, so 2 in the first half.
Eagles looking to get the extra point here to go up 34. Just at this point, you know the game's over. Question is how much.
And of course, 35 would be the mercy rule with the clock running, which would be a nice little ending of this ball game. Kick is up and good as Baeza puts it through. 7:14 remaining here in the 3rd. Hobbs 34, Carlsbad nothing. We're coming back at 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
You're clear. Ready? Ten. 3, 2, 1, go.
Back here at Watson Stadium, the Eagles kicking off. Colton Graham with this team leading 34-0. He sails it to the middle of the end zone for the automatic touchback. And, Coach, everything going right for the Eagles as they're routing their rival, the Cavemen.
Yeah, at this point, they just need to get a few more points, get that clock rolling, get out of here without any injuries.
Coach, another big update for the Wildcats. The Lovington squad winning their district game tonight.
Yeah, they're up 33-0 here. And runaway game over there for them.
Yeah, defeating Port Tallis at this point. Again, that is a district championship matchup. Quite a few teams will be making the playoffs this year. Hopefully Hobbs next week, which looks like a very good chance of that. We also got Tatum as #1 seed in the 8-man. Jal should be a #1 or 2 seed in their division with Eunice. And Eunice is going to hopefully squeak in as well. They tend to be the perennial playoff club and a championship caliber team. 1st and 10 for the Cavemen at their own 20. They trail 34-0. Shotgun. Give the handoff up the middle to Rodriguez. Gets a spin at the 25 and goes down at the 27.
And both Jal and Eunice are off this today, so they're just kind of waiting the playoff brackets.
Rodriguez was 7 on that one. He's got a total of 55 yards so far on 13 carries. And Carlsbad going back to the huddle and just letting the clock run here with 6:45 left, third quarter. Of course, they got another quarter left in this after the time that expires in this one.
Yeah, sometimes you try too hard and you cause more damage than good, so they're just going to try to run their offense here.
Naylor will go back to the shotgun, twins left and right, gives the handoff around the left end. No, he takes it himself, pulled it out, and runs around the right end, 30, 35, and gets thrown down at the 37. And there's guys flopping, the ball loose. Are they going to say it was dead or not?
No, it's going to be Eagle football.
That's going to be a 10-yard carry, but a fumble recovery. And was that Hector? I think Hector Armendariz was the man that came up with it. Yes, he's accelerating to the sideline to get some chest bumps.
And that was one of those plays, quarterback trying to do too much and tried to extend out a play where he had a good 7-8 yards, and all he had to do was go down. Instead, he tries to reach forward, loses the football, and we recovered.
He got about 10 on the carry, but then the ball came out after that. As you mentioned, Hector Armendariz recovers for the Eagles. First turnover of the ball game for either team. So Hobbs will take over. This could be Mercy Rule score if they can get one here at the 36. Go on the roll for Graham. Flips it out on the dart throw to the 40, near side, 30, 25, and down to the 23-yard line. That's going to be 14 yards for the Eagles to move the chains.
And Van Landingham there, he wasn't going to try to make anybody miss. Once he got the ball, he saw that safety come up and park to make the tackle. Van Landingham didn't try to go left or right. He tried to go through him.
So Van Landingham now with his second catch for 20 total. Eagles are now 13 of 19 in the passing game. That was a 11th first down for Hobbs. Man in motion, Trevino right to left. Give it to the tailback instead up the middle. That's Baeza. He continues to slither through 20, 15, 10, and he's down at the 5-yard line. That's a 17-yard run for Mr. Baeza.
And what was really pretty about that first juke is 3 yards in the backfield. One of the Carlsbad linebackers was on a run blitz, had his sights on him, and you just see him shift from almost like the glitch. He just shifts from one side to another, and all of a sudden you can't see him anymore, and he's gone.
Down to the 7-yard line. He gets 15 on that one. That's the 12th first down for the Eagles. He's got 78 yards on the ground on 6 carries, does Baeza. Hobbs cannot get a first down now in this series. They have the ball at the 7, and it's a 1st and goal. Shotgun, split formation. Graham holds it for a second, picks up with the drive hard to the 5-yard line for 2, and he held the ball for quite a few seconds there, just trying to keep that defense second-guessing what he's going to do.
No, what he was doing was holding the ball.
That's what I saw. Tell me no. So he held the ball out like a loaf of bread.
He was holding that ball like a loaf of bread.
Yes, thank you.
Waiting for the running back to take it. The running back didn't. He went, oh, crud, I need to run it, and he did.
I know. That's holding the ball out for a few seconds there.
That was not intentional by any means.
2 yards for Graham. That'll be at the 5-yard line on a 2nd down and goal. They'll send 2 receivers left, 2 to the right side. Graham back with Baeza on the shotgun at the 10. Bring Trevino in motion. Fake the handoff to him up the middle to Baeza. He's in for the touchdown. A 5-yard scamper up the middle. And boy, Graham went in the air with a big fist, threw it up high. He knows the mercy roll in effect now.
And Baeza at the end of that one put an exclamation point because there was a safety waiting for him at the goal line. Baeza stuck his screws right in his chest and drove him back about 2 yards as he gets into the pay dirt.
That's his 3rd touchdown of the ball game as Baeza going to kick the PAT, and we're in mercy rule now at the 40-point mark, trying to make it 41. Carlsbad getting a little bit of shift work here. Almost get a snap on the football. They had a guy diving towards the hike, and that was Jalen Macareno, who is the backup quarterback. He put his body out over top of the football, but is able for Baeza to get it through first. So we're down to 4:28 here in the 3rd, but that clock will be running pretty quickly on the mercy rule when we come back. 41-0, your Eagles over Carlsbad. Stay with us on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
You're clear. How long did you need?
30.
15. 5. 3, 2, 1, go.
41-0, your score. Carlsbad is getting trounced by your Hobbs Eagles. And here's the voice of those Eagles, Ty Friend.
You can tell the Eagles definitely coach want a number 8 seed or higher if they can get it to be home next week.
Absolutely. They are playing spirited football at this point. I think they just put exclamation points on everything and rub it in on Carlsbad.
Colton Graham getting ready to kick off, which he's done several times tonight. In fact, on 6 different touchdowns up to this point. As he boots it hard again. This one's been going close to the end zone. No, caught at the 2. They're going to bring it back across the 10, far right to the 20, to the 25. Zigzagging to the middle. Stand at the 25 and slugged down by the shoulder pads. Late flag going to come out, and that was Fuentes. He looked back at the referee when he got flipped to the ground, and the referee did bite on his lobbying effort there.
Yeah, that kind of looked like Aaron Rodgers going down in the Thursday night game last night, halfway down to the ground. He's already looking up at the ref, throwing the hands up, waiting for the call.
Referee uses the holding signal there. Instead, if he's going to call the horse collar, which I guess that's what you would have to call him that, he just put the holding sign up there.
Yeah.
That's a 15-yard penalty anyway, but they're going to move it up. So that'll only be the first penalty for the Eagles in the second half. 4 for 35 overall. Moves it up to the 43 for the Cavemen.
And he really didn't have to do that. He had him on the bullseye right there. All he had to do was stick the helmet on the football. He probably would have caused a fumble.
It did kind of look like he might have had part of the side of the shoulder pad there, but you have to come down with it on the penalty call there all the way to the ground. We'll go with a couple of receivers left, one to the right side for Naylor. He'll hand it off to Rodriguez, who's going angle right, trying to pump his legs down at the 40. Gets out to the 42 on the forward progress. Actually going to give it out to the 44 instead. And that's going to be a 6-yard pickup for Rodriguez.
That's the first time I've seen Carlsbad line up in a pistol formation tonight.
Yeah, they've been doing a wishbone for much of this second half.
Yeah, but even when they were in gun, it was always to a back to the side. They put that back behind the quarterback this time, so it was a pistol. Hadn't seen that much this year from anyone.
2nd down and 4 for the Cavemen at their own 44 on the right hash. Clock down to 3:25 left third quarter. Hobbs up 41-0. Twins left, receiver right, slot right. Ready for the shot is Naylor. To Rodriguez around the right end to the 40. Rolls it out to the 45. And is pushed forward for a couple more. So he's got about 3. Inching closer to that first down mark. He'll be short about 1.5 yards.
Yeah, third and 2 here. Still early in the third. I mean, it was 3 minutes left. I mean, we're not even in the fourth quarter yet. Clock's going to be moving. We'll go pretty quick, but man, 41-0. Just amazing showing here by the Eagles.
Coach, look out on that field and see the difference in size with Gavin Brumley. Just compared to the guys on his own defensive line, boy, he is towering over them on the front line. Give the handoff again around the right end to Rodriguez, and he stretches it out on a 3rd and about 2 and is out to the first down marker. He'll get that first down to move the chains.
Yeah. And, of course, saw that play worked last time, so they just went ahead and ran it again, you know. I'm a big proponent of doing that. You see a play that works, you run it till the other team figures out how to stop it, and then change what you do.
He's got 14 carries for 57 yards, Des Rodriguez. That will be the 11th first down for the Cavemen, but they still trail with the Mercy Rule clock at 41-0 and 2:05 remaining, and no real intensity getting out of that huddle, Coach. It just seems like they're kind of lollygagging.
You're down 41-0. You want this game to end too.
Twins left, receiver right. Got guys jumping all over the place forward, and there's no flags, and finally one comes out. Boy, it took him a few seconds. A couple of the coaches on the Eagles sideline here with their arms up in the air, kind of wondering why it took so long to see some yellow handkerchiefs.
Yeah.
False start called against the Cavemen. That'll be their 8th penalty for 55 yards, 2 in the second half. Backs it up to the 43-yard line, so it's going to be a first down and 15 for the Cavemen.
And, of course, with the mercy clock, it just keeps running right through that timeout.
Eagles definitely want to get this thing in the W column and get ready for tomorrow night's announcement of their seeding in the playoffs, one of the top 12 teams. Shotgun to Naylor, hand off to the tailback, bounces off the defender to the left side of the 45, puts his head down and gets slammed again, this time leaning out to the 48. So Rodriguez gets back those penalty yards and about 1 yard more. Actually, just going to give him about 5 total on that one.
Jesus Maganda actually making the stop there for the Eagles.
So Rodriguez definitely not getting anywhere close to what he had last week at 152, but halftime with only 29 yards, and this half, 33, so a little bit more than what he had in the second half, but he still has a quarter to go. Twins left, receiver right, slot right. Shotgun to Naylor. Little counter action, give it up the middle to Rodriguez. 50 in Hobbs territory, spins at the 45 and goes down there. He's going to get 8 on that carry.
He'll be short of the first down. That'll bring up about a 3rd and 2 here. clock's still moving. That may end the quarter.
Yeah, down to 18 seconds, so they haven't been rushing out of the huddle either, so that's probably going to be all she wrote in terms of the plays here in the third quarter. And, Coach, coming into this game, did you expect to see a 41-0 score at this point?
I wasn't expecting 41-0. I figured we were the better team, but they really come out and put a bit of an exclamation point.
Naylor's going to go back to shotgun, but that'll run out the third quarter clock. So the Eagles up big, 41-0 over Carlsbad. We got 1 quarter to go here at Watson Stadium, the final regular season game of the district schedule. Come back live with this on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
You're clear. Ten. 5, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back. Fourth quarter action getting ready to start here. The Eagles are up 41-0. And here's the voice of the Eagles, Ty Friend.
Coach, we mentioned in the pregame show the Cavemen and the Eagles had both given up the same amount of points in district, 92. But, of course, the Eagles had about a 50-point differential on offensive production, and definitely you can see the difference here. They're up by 41 in this one.
Well, and, you look at how you played people, and the games that we lost because of turnovers, not because we couldn't move the ball or defend the ball as much. It was turnovers, and that's something we haven't done tonight, and that's what's caused us to be a much better offensive team.
And then more importantly, too, red zone turnovers that we've been seeing in some games.
Absolutely.
Especially last game against Centennial. 3rd down and 2 for the Cavemen at the Eagle 44-yard line. Bring a man in motion left to right with the slot right. Fake the handoff. Going up the middle is the quarterback, and he's going to go across the 40-yard line. And that's Dane Naylor. He needed just 2 and gets to about the 40. So that's a 4-yard pickup for Naylor to move the chains. That's the 12th first down for the Cavemen. So they have been moving the football somewhat. And they have 47 yards for Naylor on 8 carries.
Yeah, of course, moving the football. And the problem is just when they needed a first down, they've not been able to get it.
1st and 10 from the 39 of the Eagles near the right hash. Just underway here in the fourth quarter. The Eagles up 41-0. Got a slot right, shotgun to Naylor. Angle left now for Rodriguez. Cuts it back to the middle of the 35 and goes down head first into the turf at the 32 for a 7-yard pickup.
And that's just a nice little G pull. Wasn't a full counter. They just pulled one guard instead of pulling the guard and the tackle. Kind of tucked up in the lead block and got north and south.
Rodriguez with 48 yards in the second half, had 29 at halftime for a total of 77 for 17 carries. So he's been the workhorse in the rushing game. Naylor, though, has carried for a total of 8 times, 6 of those in the second half. Stacked receivers, 2 on the left. Fakes the handoff. He's going to throw it to fade to the left corner, and there's a push in the back at the last second. I don't think the official's going to call it. They're going to say incidental contact, but they overthrows the receiver to that far sideline, down near the 5 on that far left side of the field. Incomplete, as that pass was intended. Let me see who that number was. Eli Asay was out there, incomplete.
And Royal was there in coverage, and he got a step behind at the turn. And if he would have realized that the ball was thrown so short and he'd have turned a little sooner, he probably would have had a pick 6.
Carlsbad 6 of 11 in the passing game. A 3rd down and 3 now from the Eagle 31. Make it the 32 on the right hash. Twins left, slot left. Fake the handoff to Rodriguez up the middle. Bounce it off is the quarterback. Naylor lost the football at the 30 as he tried to hit to the near sideline. I think he might have fumbled it right to the first down marker, and somebody recovers there for Carlsbad. I think that's going to be enough for the first down. And picking that up to save his team a turnover was a Marion Barnes. He was a guy that went down. No, I'm sorry. That was more than went down in the first half. 3-yard pickup on the fumble recovery. So we'll go ahead and give Naylor 3. And that'll be the 13th first down for the Cavemen. 1st and 10 now from the 29. Can you imagine that after, pulling and tugging to get back with a drive going here, then you have another turnover and still down 41-0.
I certainly could imagine that.
It just kind of broke you up, didn't it?
Yeah, I know.
You thought you were Carlsbad coach right now, didn't you? First and 10 from the 29. Here come the Cavemen. Shotgun Naylor. Fakes. Yeah, he does hand it off. Look, good fake on the throw there as he hands it towards the right. And a big pileup here on the near sideline. Staying in bounds, though, is Rodriguez. So kind of a broken record. And he'll pick up another 2. Got piled up quickly as the Eagles on top of him, knowing where he was headed to that near sideline. Easton Kirkendall in there first after the 2-yard gain.
And, got us with our back against the wall on this drive. This is where we actually play some of our best football, so we'll see if we actually keep them from getting in the end zone on this one.
Of course, we stopped a scoring drive, getting us close to the 2-yard line to end the second quarter to keep it scoreless at the half, 27-zip. Stack receivers, 2 left, 1 to the right side. Give it to Rodriguez around the left end, pulling guys with him. He's out across the 25. He needed to get to the 20, though. So he gets another 3. And just plugging along is Rodriguez. Nothing big. The biggest run he did have in the second half was a 20-yarder and a 12-yarder back in the first half, but no, catch-your-breath type of plays.
Yeah, and Kenyon Singleton did a great job of preventing that from getting more yardage. He got real low and prevented the forward movement from going on.
Of course, we mentioned Kenyon in terms of on the team this year as a defender, as a linebacker. He leads his squad into this game with 102 tackles, so he's definitely one of the big bronze of the defense. Naylor fakes right, throws it to the left with a comeback route to the 20-yard line near the first down marker. That should be enough. Getting about a 6-yard pickup, dragging people on that far sideline. As coming up with it is Fuentes. He will get 6 to move the chains again for Carlsbad. That's the first reception here in the second half. Fuentes is 4 catches for 48 yards.
And this one drive has already ate up a bunch of the quarter.
Moves it up to the 18 for the first down. They're 14th of the ball game on the left hash. Clock is down, as you mentioned, Coach. Is 7:10 remaining in the Mercy Rule time. Hobbs has to be up by at least 35 for that. They're at 41 right now. Touchdown cushion there. Twins right, receiver left. Back to passes Naylor, flat-footed, tucks and goes up the middle. 15, 10, zags to the far right, down to the 6, and is put down there.
Another block in the back, but I don't think they're going to call it at this point.
12 yards for the quarterback, Naylor. That's his best carry of the game. He had an 11-yarder in the first half and a 10-yarder here in the second. Cerceras is the man who comes up with to wrap up for the Eagles. That'll be the 15th first down now.
Eagles bring in their jumbo package defense, bringing a little bit more beef on the line here.
62 yards on the ground for Naylor, and a first and goal now at the 6. Shotgun Naylor, hand to Rodriguez, jumps outside. He's got 2 men on top of him, and he's going to go down. They're going to blow the whistle to stop him from being ripped down to the turf that time. Boy, a couple of guys are ripping jerseys big time for the Eagles. Jordan Chisholm and Kenyon Singleton, the guy you just mentioned, Coach.
Oh, yeah, big battles going on. And, of course, one of the Carlsbad Cavemen lost his helmet, had to come to the sidelines, offensive lineman. But, man, that was a lot of weight going against each other on both sides of the ball.
You don't want to lose that offensive line. Ramon Loya, 6'3", 260. He'll be off the line on probably a running game going
That's
here.
a big boy.
Second down, no gain on the play for Rodriguez on the carry. Second and goal from the 6. Twins right, receiver left. Shotgun. Naylor going to roll right with a couple receivers flooding. He's going to tuck it and go. 10-5 and dives across the goal line and taken one-on-one against Aldo Argot. Right side of the end zone and gets in for the touchdown for a 6-yard score.
Yeah, there it is. And, you know, they really were moving the ball on that drive as good as I've seen them move it all the entire game. That was a very good sustained drive, and they got their timely first downs.
Secondary was backed up into the end zone, saw the 2 receivers. One went to the middle on a post. The other one kind of faded to the right corner, and everybody sucked back on defense, giving time for Naylor to make his move. First attempt on a PAT in this game for the Cavemen. They're not used to it because they get late subs on the field. The kick man for the Cavemen will be, I think that's a QB, Dane Naylor out there. Pulled by Ty Molina. Kick is up, and the kick is good. That was Dane Naylor to put it through, and that'll get it underneath the mercy roll down to 34, but we got 5:32 remaining. Eagles up 41-7 here in the fourth quarter over Carlsbad. Come back live with us in 1 minute on Cool 95.7, YouTube, and HobbsAmerica.com.
You're clear.
Five, three, two, one, go.
5:32 on the clock here in the fourth. 41-7 your score. Hobbs lead. Here's Ty Friend.
First kickoff after a touchdown for the Cavemen in this one. Hasn't happened this whole ball game until now. The Eagles up, trying to get back to that mercy roll, but there's only 5:35 remaining, as you mentioned, Coach. And here comes the kick from Gabriel Spall to the far sideline, caught by the Eagles, run back across the 45, breaking a tackle and pulling people with them down into the, looks like Hobbs Eagle, or make it Carlsbad territory.
That was Corbin Thompson.
Yeah, down to the 49-yard line. Yeah, he was pulling a lot of people with him.
Good running flag on the field there.
Late flag at the 46. That's not a good place for the Eagles. Might be a block in the back. Waiting to see the signal from the Whitecap here. Holding. Official had to remember to turn his microphone on here. Now he can't get anything to come out of it. Holding penalty against the Eagles. Now, I don't know. His block in the back and holding has been kind of close, the same signal here.
And his face mask. They're all about the same.
And, of course, both those two fouls are 10 yards, so it doesn't matter really whether it's a hold or a block in the back. So that'll be against the Eagles, though. 10-yarder. That'll be their fourth penalty of the second half for 34 yards, 54 overall on 7 penalties. And to back it up, and I would expect to see the Eagles just keeping it on the ground here, run some clock.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe a bubble screen every now and then, but, yeah, I think we're probably going to see a lot of the run game.
Trips left, 2 receivers right, and Graham by himself in the backfield with a 32. He's going to take it himself up the gut, 35, 40, keeper to the 45, 50. He's going to the 40. He's going to the 30. He's going to be all the way, hopefully 15, 10, 5, and he takes it one more man in the end zone. Touchdown.
That's Argot, the backup quarterback.
Excuse me, you're right. Argot. He's going to go from the 38 into the end zone. That's going to be 62 yards for the backup. Argot.
I tell you what, that he had quite a bit of smoke coming out of them feet as he was running up the field. It looked like his feet were on fire.
Coach, do I start next week is what he just told Coach Steven.
You like that, sir? I'd like to do that again for you, sir.
Oh, we got unsportsmanlike conduct. Now, that's going to be a choice for Carlsbad to take it on the PAT or to have it on the kickoff. And I think they might want it on the kickoff just to get a better chance for a better field position on the return there. So somebody must have been getting a little bit too excited after that play. But 62 yards for Argot.
That puts him up there with the leaders for the game in one carry.
Coach Stevens called one of the officials over here and turns around and kind of shaking his head here. That will be a 15-yard penalty whether they decide to take it now or in the kickoff. Both coaches were told what was going on. And it looks like they're going to keep it about the 3-yard line. That means they're going to wait to the kickoff on the penalty mark-off. So PAT coming for Baeza. Eagles back up on the mercy roll, 47-7, 40-point lead. 35 is the mercy roll. Game would be over at 50, by the way. Don't think that's going to make it tonight.
No.
Wait for the snap. Good one. Kick is up, and the kick is right through the middle of the uprights. 5:05 left here in the fourth. The Eagles extend their lead to 41 up on Carlsbad, 48-7. You're listening live to Hobbs Eagle Football on Colt 95.7 YouTube and HobbsAmerica.com.
You're clear. Five, 3, 2, 1, go.
48-7, your score. The Eagles are beating the Carlsbad Cavemen. 5:05 here left in the fourth. And here's Ty Friend.
So the Hobbs Eagles trying to punch their ticket for a home game next week. Top seeds will get that. 1 through 4 will have byes. And then 5 through 8 will have the home host games next week. And teams that you could possibly be hearing in the Eagles mix next week, that's a kind of a question mark because there's some games going on tonight. But at this point, teams in the 5 through 8 category, which will not be a team Eagles would probably play if they earn that top 4, Las Cruces, Cibola, Volcano Vista, and Hobbs, 5 through 8 at this point. The 9 through 12, and this is going to probably change with some losses, though, El Dorado, Sandia, Carlsbad, and Santa Fe. I don't think Clovis has a chance to get in with the 3-6 record at the number 13. Ball's kept on the ground for Graham, picked up at the 26 for the Cavemen on the return. Fuentes up in it with his knees.
There's Montez again.
Yeah, Montez sliping through and flipping his knees up in the air as Fuentes goes down at the 35.
And on those kickoffs, Montez has absolutely owned him. That's about the third or fourth time on the kickoff where Montez made the stop.
Ball's at the 36-yard line of the Cavemen. They'll have 4:45, not even that right now because it's ticking because of the mercy rule. Barely get their kids on the field in the huddle, and they're staying in that huddle too, Coach. I think the white flag is coming up, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they need to put their tanks in reverse and just go ahead and get themselves out.
Again, the Carlsbad more than likely will have a playoff game as well. Wouldn't put them much past the 11th or 12th seed, though, out of the 12 that are getting in. Line up at the 36. The Eagles have put 4 in the front box defensively. There'll be 2 receivers left, 1 to the right side as we wait for the shotgun. New man up there at the quarterback is going to hand it off up the middle, and that's to Rodriguez. The quarterback now is Ty Molina. And Rodriguez tried to get low, and the Eagles got low as well.
Yeah, that was a loss of about a half a yard on that play. Eagle defense coming out and doing their job.
Coming down low on him that time was Zayden McPherson, a sophomore linebacker, getting some action tonight here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they've got the second stringers in on both sides.
-1, as you mentioned, for Rodriguez. Brings up a 2nd down and 11 now from the 35. Got a slot right, 2 receivers left, receiver right. Back to pass, little shot put throw over to the left side. Breaking a tackle to the 40, 45 Assay, run out of bounds. And it looks like he tried to extend. I think he was back further than that, though. Going to mark it back at the 43. That's going to be 7 for Assay.
Yeah, and you know, that was he was should have been wrapped up in the backfield. They actually had him, but unfortunately they over pursued instead of breaking down, and they missed that tackle.
7 yards for Assay. That's the 8th completion for the Cavemen on 13 attempts. Only the 2nd reception in the second half for 13 yards overall, and a total of 105 in the passing game. 3rd down and 4. Here comes the handoff up the middle. Zigzag to the 50 and down into Hobbs Eagle territory at the 48. And it looked like he was kind of hurt as he was halfway through that run. He went down hard, and they're going to have to bring him out.
Yeah, that was one where I think he sprained his ankle or something during the run. He went down himself. He knew he was hurting, and he went down himself.
That's a 10-yard pickup, which will move the chains for the Cavemen. That's their 16th first down at the Eagle 48. And that was Assay, I believe, that had the football that time. And this is his first game back after been out for a few weeks for the Cavemen.
Yeah, try to get you a number to make sure.
It is 10. Yeah, it is Assay. So he's going to get about 13 or 14 yards on that one. Or 7 yards for the first down.
Still looking at him here. It's one of those injuries that when there's no contact like that and you go down, that's usually a pretty severe injury.
Clock stop with 2:48 remaining here in the fourth. Hobbs up 48-7 over Carlsbad. We mentioned last year just a 6-point ball game. 27-21. The Cavemen winning that one. It was tied up at 14 at the half. Eagles were outscored 13-7 in the second half. That was a game that Caden Trevino had 4 catches for 146 yards. A big game for him.
Yeah, he's a big game player.
So Assay's going to get helped off, and that's the worst part, Coach. You're down by this much, and it's late in the fourth quarter. There's one of your best offensive players leaving the game with probably a playoff game next week.
Yeah, and that would hurt them significantly if they're not able to come back, and that's probably the second or third injury we've seen this game where they haven't returned.
So that is Assay. He had 4 carries for 4 yards and 1 catch for 7 yards as he leaves the contest. Ball's at the Eagle 47-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Cavemen. They made their first score of the game in this fourth quarter. Naylor with a 6-yard run. 2 receivers right, 1 left, a slot left, and a man in the backfield along with the backup quarterback. That's Molina. He's going to fake a throw left and hand off to the right side, and Rodriguez gets somersaulted across the line of scrimmage. Late flags coming in. Not sure what that was all about.
Yeah, it was a Hobbs Eagle that hit another Hobbs Eagle.
They're going to give him 3 on that one for Rodriguez.
It was going against Carlsbad. Personal foul.
Well, yeah, Rodriguez was the guy that got bounced, but the flags came as soon as that happened, so I kind of wonder. Official just picked up the flag. I'm not sure. Did he call that one off, or did they go ahead and call that?
Yeah, they're backing him up here.
We'll soon know based on how many yards it is, but it was a flagrant. Yep, 15-yarder. So that'll be marked off against the Cavemen. That's their first 15-yarder of the ball game. They've had 9 penalties for 70 yards. Back to the 41.
Clock starts to roll again.
First down and 22 now for the Cavemen at their own 41-yard line. They're trailing the Eagles 48-7. Shot put over the left side, screen pass to the 40 to the 45 and run out of bounds. Stopping the clock, that's Jose Vasquez, a sub coming in this quarter. So Vasquez gets a 4-yard catch. That'll be the 8th completion out of 14 attempts for the Cavemen. 2nd down and a long way to go. 19 from the 45. And
they're taking their sweet time.
I was going to say, they're not getting out of that huddle very quickly. Down to 1 minute remaining and down by 41.
Nothing on the play clock.
Here's some fans chanting, "Start the bus" now. Ready for that shotgun. Fake the handoff. Back to pass on the throws down the far sideline to Molina over the shoulder. A catch on the sideline, but was he out of bounds? Nope, they made the catch. So the backup quarterback taking care of business.
That was a pretty nicely thrown ball. That was just absolutely gorgeous. Turned over in the air, laid out. Beautiful fade.
41-yard reception. Double check the number out there as his number got bunched up on that far side. I believe that was number 5, Jose Vasquez again. So he picks up a 41-yard reception. That'll be the 9th catch on 15 throws. And the 17th first down, a throw to the left side on the curl route. Caught at the 15, 10, down to the 8-yard line. That's 12 yards. And Fuentes gets 12 on that one. That's his 5th catch.
That's it.
And that's the ball game. So slowly but surely the Eagles get the victory. Final score, 48-7 over the Cavemen. And importantly for the Eagles, they get their record up to 5-5, Coach. And Carlsbad is going to drop to 3-6.
Yeah, having that winning record is huge, it's huge, it's huge. It's going to look good to the playoff committee.
Both teams shaking hands here. Eagles getting some revenge on last year's 6-point loss to these Cavemen. But, of course, that was a wacko year. You didn't get a full schedule, and then they had bowl games of some sort last year. They got the full playoffs with 12 teams, which will be announced tomorrow. More than likely, Carlsbad will inch in there, probably at, I would say, 11th. They might barely get the 11th and maybe the 12th seed. They might move Santa Fe up a slot. Who knows? But Hobbs coming up with the Mercy Rule win by 41. We'll take a 3-minute break with the postgame show coming on Cool 95.7, YouTube, and HobbsAmerica.com.
You're clear. 2 minutes.
Please add a minute.
Okay. Two minutes. One minute. Thirty. Ten. 5, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to the Hobbs Eagle postgame show here at Watson Stadium. Ty Friend, Coach Brian Coltrane with you. Eagles big win tonight. Mercy roll 48-7 over the Carlsbad Cavemen. Looking at the scoring plays, first quarter, 30-yard pass from Colton Graham to Trevino made it 6-0 at the 9:44 mark. A 10-yard run for Diego Baeza made it 13-0 at the 4:09. And in the end of the first quarter with 5 seconds left, it was a 25-yard run for Baeza to make it 20-0. So 2 touchdowns in the first quarter for Diego Baeza. And in the second quarter, just one score. That was Trevino with a 19-yard pass reception from Colton Graham to make it 27-0 at halftime. So 2 touchdowns for Baeza, 2 for Trevino at the half. And coming up in the third quarter, the Eagles also converted on a couple of passing or a pass play for a touchdown, and I just lost my person that had the 20-yard reception here. Boy, that's bad. Wrote down 20 and then write down who received that pass. Let me get back to that one in just a minute. A 5-yard run for Diego Baeza put the team up 41-0 at the end of the third. Naylor got the only score for Carlsbad in the fourth quarter. It was 41-7 at that point off a 6-yard run. And then Omar Argot, the backup quarterback for the Eagles, a 62-yard scamper for a touchdown with the 5-minute remaining mark. 48-7 the final.
You look at this game and you look at the offensive dominance. They were unable to stop us at any point during the game. We went up and down the field and just basically had our way with them, whether it was passing or running. Our scheme tonight was excellent. Execution was there. The lack of turnovers was just amazing and shows what we're capable of doing.
Coach, who was that 20-yard touchdown? I don't have that written down here on my my overall stats.
No, I believe that was Baeza.
Okay, well, he had a 5-yard run in that third quarter, so I'll get that.
He also
here
had the 20, I believe.
Okay, so let's take a look at the individual numbers for the first of all for Carlsbad. Top rusher, as expected, was Rodriguez, 22 carries for 84 yards. Did not score in the ball game, but did have a long of 20 in the second half. And, again, most of his rushing yard is coming in the second half.
Yeah, they look much better in the second half. They looked a lot more comfortable. When they got back to just ran what they ran. When they tried to get fancy in the first to try to get back in the game after that first little stop we had, they didn't look good after that.
Keeping on with their rushers, coming up with 68 was Naylor, 11 carries for 68, including a 6-yard touchdown run. Also, number 12, who was inserted late, no name on him, not on the roster, 2 for 25. And then just single digits for the rest of the guys is Say, who went out injured late in the fourth. He had 4 yards on the ground, Barnes with 1. In terms of the rushing tonight for Carlsbad, 42 carries for 189 yards. In the passing department, Naylor and company, 11 of 17 in the air for 162 yards. Fuentes had 5 catches for 60, had a chance for a touchdown at the end of the second, but it was called back on a hold. Other guys with receptions included Dane Naylor, who did move into wide receiver a few plays. He had 2 catches for 16. Number 22, Chris Cerna, had a catch for 34. Say had a catch for 7 before he left the game. And also it was Jose Vasquez picking up 2 catches for 45 yards. So 11 of 17 for 162. They finish up with 351 yards. And this is a team that got beat 48-7, so getting close to 400 yards of offense.
Yeah, they moved the ball well. It was just having the timely plays, and that was what they didn't have. And the turnovers hurt them.
Taking a look now at the Hobbs Eagles, the rushing game coming up for Hobbs, including Diego Baeza breaking off a lot of tackles in this contest. He had 3 touchdowns on the ground, 7 of 83 in terms of the rushing game, touchdowns of 10, 25, and 5, and a couple other runs of 15, 14, and definitely doing the job for the Eagles.
Yeah, workhorse, absolute workhorse. You can just give the ball and know you're going to get something out of it, and I just love the passion that was played with tonight. He did a great job.
Also, Argot, even though he only had one rush on the night, came in and did a big one, 62 yards. That puts him in second place tonight's rushing. Trevino, 2 for 18, including a long of 13. And also Colton Graham, 4 carries for 2 yards. So about 4 guys getting a chance to run in this game. 14 total rushes for 165 yards. They didn't get a lot of rushes in the game, but that's about as many passes as they completed too.
And really, the Carlsbad had the ball a lot more than we did because we just went down and scored every time so quickly. Carlsbad had a lot more plays from scrimmage because of that.
Looking at the Hobbs Eagle passing game, Trevino, the man of the hour, 8 catches for 85 yards. He had a 30-yarder for a touchdown. And, of course, another play that he had, there it is, the 19-yard touchdown pass reception he also scored on, too. So he had a couple of touchdowns in this ball game for the Hobbs Eagles. That was my other 20 that I was missing there.
There you go.
Let's bump him up now to 9 catches for 105. Doing some quick math. How's that go for you, Coach?
Hey.
So 9 catches, 105, a couple of touchdowns in this game, and especially actually 3 of them. He had 2 in the first half, and then that third one coming up in the third quarter. A couple other guys getting involved tonight in the passing game. Baeza with 2 catches for 68, including a 54-yarder. Didn't score, but he sure looked like he was going to on that play. Van Landingham with a couple of snags for 20 yards. Thompson 2 for 14. And I believe that's about it. So Hobbs ends up with 4 receivers getting in the books tonight. And let me just make a quick change of my numbers. That's going to put 207 in the passing game tonight. And that'll be a total of 372 yards of offense for the Eagles. And 14 plays in the rush, 15 plays in the pass in the conversions tonight. Eagles had 12 first downs compared to 18, actually. More for Carlsbad as that those drives were kind of sustained there in
absolutely.
that fourth quarter. Eagles had 7 penalties for a total of 56 yards, and for Carlsbad, 9 penalties for 70 yards, so a little bit less than what the Cavemen had. The best about tonight, Coach, besides a big 48-7 win and 372 to a total of 351 in the total offense, is no turnovers for Hobbs.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talked about this before the game, is when we're not turning the ball over, we're a very dangerous team. And we're a team that show that we can play with the top 4 in the state, provided we don't give them the ball and extra opportunities.
Well, let's talk the playoffs. Eagles get the Mercy Rule win tonight.
Playoffs.
They will go up to 5-5, which you mentioned several times in the game. That's important to get at least the 500 mark. You would have made the playoffs regardless with the situation we saw tonight in the blowout here. But, having a subpar 500 record is not going to help you with seeding potential.
Yeah.
Now, there's some teams like Santa Fe who don't have a very strong schedule outside of their district. They're going to be coming in at 7-4, but still, strength of schedule is going to be an issue. So Hobbs at 5-5, currently at 8th in the Max Preps Bowl. That's not the only thing they use as determination. It's your record, your strength of schedule, who you play, that type of thing. That's going to be kind of incorporated into those numbers to make the decision on the seeding. But right now, the couple of teams ahead of them in the poll, Cibola and Volcano Vista, both at 5-4. But the thing about them is they're both from District 1, so I don't see them leaving them in those 2 slots right above the Eagles. I think they're going to try to mix it up. Hobbs will have two other teams in the district in the top 10, Centennial and Las Cruces, who are neck and neck at 4 and 5. Centennial's a district champ. They're going to get a bye next week.
I really fully expect for us to see somebody, like a Santa Fe or somebody like maybe a La Cueva, I believe, is in there as well. I'm sorry, San Diaz, who I was thinking of. That's in that bunch right there. Those are probably our potential. I don't see them, looking at anybody else in there. Maybe Santa Fe might be the other option for us.
Now, there's a chance that El Dorado could move up. They're at number 9 behind the Eagles. They clobbered Clovis last night, Thursday night, 50-14. That was last night, 50-14. Clovis dropped to 3-6. That was their last hope was inching into that number 12 spot. So El Dorado with that big win going to 7-3. That record is, a couple more wins than what the Eagles have. So I could see that possibly slipping them up a little bit. They're from District 2. That would be the second team with what would be a home game for them. That could be a very distinct possibility, but that's if Hobbs would drop one and not move up one possibly too.
Yeah.
So.
I think at this point we started 8. At the very least, we're going to be an 8 or a 7 seed, depending on how Volcano Vista did. And I'll see if I can check that score while you're wrapping it up there.
Yeah, Rio Rancho, you mentioned we're up by a few there late in the game in that district championship up in the first district, and that's, of course, 2 undefeated teams. Rio Rancho at 7-0 and Cleveland at 9-0, so combined 16-0 record between those two teams. You got to remember these records are not going to be lined up to 10 like normal seasons because of some of the games were called because of COVID. So that's why we don't have exact records with some of these teams.
Sure.
So those two are going at it tonight. There was a single-digit lead for Rio Rancho in the fourth quarter in that one. I think I had 2 minutes left in that one. We also had finals already coming in. We mentioned El Dorado beat Clovis, so that probably knocks them out of the playoffs. Sandia is finishing their game with the Manzano Monarchs tomorrow. They had that postponed because of some type of a gun threat or something, but Manzano's just 1-7. So you expect San Diego to get their record moved up to 5-4. So that's plus 500. So that's
you're looking at Cibola and Volcano Vista right now. Volcano Vista has a 1-point lead in the fourth. It's 15-14.
And those two teams are 5-4, both of them, both from District 1, and have both the slots ahead of the Eagles. So 6-7. Again, I don't see them giving both those teams nods, unless you're going to say that district was so much more stellar than what the Eagles played in against Las Cruces and Centennial. So again, we're not on the committee, and people are saying, hey, who makes decisions here, you or them, but. You know how that goes. You have to think about that, too. The athletic directors are allowed to present a paper that gives all their arguments for the slots, too. So that might be something they might.
And we got a final from Cleveland and Rio Rancho. Rio Rancho blows a 20-0 halftime lead and loses to Cleveland 28-27.
Okay, that'll put Cleveland at number 1. I mean, I don't see them doing anything else. That's their first Rio Rancho's first loss of the season. So, that'll drop them to 7-1, and that'll be Cleveland 10-0.
Yeah.
So they got to have the number 1 seed. Rio Rancho's been sitting at number 1 on the Max Preps Bowl for much of the season. So
Yes.
So Cleveland won. I don't think you can say Rio Rancho anything more than number 2. I know they're the same district, but just what they've been doing so far.
And the Rams came down. Rio Rancho came down and had a field goal to win it at the end of the game, and they missed the field goal.
Oh boy, Rancho beat Cleveland this season 50-0 too. Beat Carlsbad earlier this year. So again, that was a major blowout Mercy Rule win there. So that's where we're at this point. 12 teams make it to the state playoffs next week. Top 4 teams more than likely will be Cleveland now, Rio Rancho second, and Centennial I think has to have a 3 or 4 seed. La Cueva is going to stick up there too. So those 4 teams will be up there. Las Cruces, Cibola, Volcano Vista, and Hobbs. Possibly the 5 through 8 seeds to host home games. Coach, you mentioned earlier Lovington was shutting out Portales, the district championship. That thing's in the book by now.
Yeah, that's a final 39-7.
Tatum, number 1 seed out of the 8-man division. They have a bye next week, so they'll get to wait a little while before their first game. Tomorrow we'll find out if Eunice and Jal punch their tickets. Jal, of course, will be. Eunice is going to be waiting for the committee to put them in as well. So lots of teams involved this year. It looks like all 5 Lee County teams have a good shot at going to state.
Yep. It's going to be a fun playoff season.
Final score here tonight, 48-7. Eagles with a big victory over the Carlsbad Cavemen to go to 5-5, their second win in district. Don't forget, tomorrow afternoon, Hobbs soccer. Girls at 1, the boys at 3. First round of the playoffs, as both teams will get to host. They're the number 4 seeds for their respective divisions there, and they will play here at Watson Stadium. Catch the action on our YouTube and HobbsAmerica.com feeds. You'll get video and audio. They will not be on the radio, but those 2 will be the sources that you can check those games out. So good luck to both of those teams in terms of moving on to next week up in the Duke City. Of course, we had district cross country today. As you said, both teams were champs.
Won district. Yep.
Okay, and you had volleyball winning district with the win over Clovis yesterday, and a couple days before they beat Roswell to finish up their regular season. So they're going to be punching their ticket moving on as well. So great job for Hobbs Eagle Fall Sports. We will be back next week. I would think more than likely a Saturday, but it depends on if we're hosting Friday or Saturday. Could be the possibility on those games. And if you have teams traveling, like they're going to probably be traveling with the 5 hours or so, they usually enforce a Saturday game for traveling teams. So, of course, Eagles are the most well-traveled team in the state of New Mexico. Thanks for tuning in tonight here at Watson Stadium. We'd like to thank Tiffany Stuber back at the station. For Coach Brian Coltrane, myself, Ty Friend, have a great Halloween weekend out there, and be safe. Trick or treat.
You're clear.
Hey, thanks.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Drive safe, guys.
Bye.